or by visiting Cubs.com.
The all-turf road trip continues as the Cubs got out of Canada, winning the last two. Tonight, they send Ryan Dempster to the mound, and it's a homecoming for Sweet Lou. We're on the Gulf Coast. Cubs and Rays next. For the first time ever, the Cubs were greeted by Raymond, the mascot, here inside Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. And we are set for Cubs baseball here on Comcast Sportsnet. It's the Cubs and the Rays in what should be a very entertaining interleague matchup. Hi again, everyone. Alongside Bob Brenly, I'm Len Casper. The Cubs won 2 of 3 in Toronto. They were rained out in the Exhibition Hall of Fame game yesterday and set to take on a Tampa Bay team that's pretty good. They're off to, by far, their best start in franchise history.
Yeah, surprising a lot of people around baseball. So much to the point that Hank Steinbrenner said the Yankees need to play more like the Rays earlier this season when the Rays took a series from the Yankees.
They have been particularly good here at home, and it is a homecoming for several members of the Cubs organization, including Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, former manager. But it's all about Lou Piniella this week.
It really is. Lou has been swamped with interview requests. His pregame media session, which is usually attended by yourself and a few others, was packed this morning. You see his numbers in his career with Tampa Bay. Keep in mind, $20 million payroll at the time Lou was managing the Rays.
And they lost a lot of ball games at Yankee Stadium and Fenway Park during those years. And for the Cubs, not a lot of guys have had much experience in this ballpark, but a couple in the lineup have.
A couple guys have had experience, and it's not so important what they've done in this ballpark. What's important is what they can impart to their teammates about the nooks and crannies and the unique situation that they're going to encounter here at Tropicana Field.
Well, we'll see how it works out for both offenses, because the pitchers going into action tonight are not giving up many hits.
Well, we know how good Ryan Dempster has been lately, and Scott Kazmir might be the best left-handed pitcher in the American League that nobody knows about.
Yeah, he is coming off a loss which snapped his 6-game winning streak, and coming up, Ryan Dempster's coming off a complete game win 6 days ago, his first since 2002. It's the Cubs and the Rays next.
Here's the good news about the Chevy Impala Luxury Edition. It's loaded with all the comfort and style you're looking for. And OnStar with turn-by-turn navigation standard for 1 year. It's impressed even the toughest critics, our owners. Here's some more good news. Qualified buyers can get 0% APR financing for 60 months on an 08 Impala. Log on now to Chevy.
So, you're a green person, but which shade? Confusing, isn't it? Well, True Value's Color Made Simple can help. With exclusive tools, trained professionals, and expert advice, finding your color will always be simple. Now let's talk purple. True Value's Color Made Simple.
Meeting the challenge since 1940.
If it's got a motor. That's our slogan here at Clinton Motor Works, and what's it mean? Well, we have one of the area's best selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, vans, SUVs. Oh yeah, and the cruising coolers. How great is that? A 13-mile-an-hour cooler to ride. Just another reason to stop in and see what's going on. Now let's talk warranty. We have the area's only lifetime engine warranty on most all the vehicles we sell. That's right, your engine blows, you get it fixed for free. That's why people do business with us. For your next great sales and finance experience, we'll see you soon at Clinton Motor Works.
If it's got a motor.
They're getting ready for baseball in St. Petersburg as Lou Piniella takes a dip at Tropicana Field for the first time as skipper of the first place Cubs. Start of that game is coming up in just a second. Hi, everyone. Pat Boyle back in our downtown Chicago studios. We'll get you back to Len Casper and Bob Brunley in just a second. But first, this sports update. The captain of the White Sox is headed to the disabled list. The Sox put Paul Konerko on the 15-day DL today with a left oblique strain. It's the first time Paulie's been on the disabled list in his career. Konerko suffered the injury in BP on Sunday. The Sox purchased the contract of Dwayne Wise from AAA Charlotte to fill Konerko's roster spot. Remember, as soon as the game is over in St. Petersburg tonight, keep it here for Cubs Post-Game Live. Dan Plezak joins me for analysis of tonight's contest. We'll look ahead to Carlos Zambrano's start tomorrow night at the Trop. That's immediately following tonight's tilt. That'll do it from here. After the break, Len and Bob have the call of the Cubs and the Rays. Ryan Dempster looks for his first road win, and there's Dick Vitale. You're awesome, Lou, with a capital A. I love you. It's the Cubs and Rays coming up next.
It's got 403 horsepower. It can tow 8,000 pounds. Seats 7. It's dripping in chrome. Big, bold, beautiful. Forget drive it. If it had a bathroom, I'd live in it.
Visit your local Cadillac dealer for this attractive offer.
Let me get $10 on pump 3.
All right.
Make that $7 on 3. Oh. Make it $2 on 3. Wait a minute.
And 64 cents on number 5, please.
The new bigger double cheeseburger, just $1.59. AM, PM, too much good stuff.
Rocking performance, exceptional control. Destination tires with Unity technology, only from Firestone.
Every car maker's focusing on fuel efficiency, but they've forgotten about the power. At Nissan, we do more with a drop of fuel than any other manufacturer. The dependable Altima, versatile Sentra, and reliable Versa. 3 performance sedans with 31 miles per gallon or higher. Lease the Nissan Altima for $199 a month, or get $1,500 Nissan cash back on Sentra. Nissan sedans. Lean, mean, driving machines.
Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by Chevy. Log on now to ChevyDriveChicago.com. Check us out today, ChevyDriveChicago.com. Midas for brakes, oil changes, tires, and more. Trust the Midas touch. Your Chicago area Lexus dealer who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Menards. And Menards, you'll find big lumber yards, big selection, and big savings. At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, we want to give you the security to experience wellness everywhere. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Cadillac, Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit. And by Southwest Airlines. With Southwest Airlines, you're now free to be more productive. Visit southwest.com today.
We're inside the Trop here at St. Petersburg, Florida. The Tampa Bay Rays, they dropped the Devil from their nickname. And they're off to the best start in franchise history, and the Cubs off to one of their best starts ever as they come in 3.5 up on the St. Louis Cardinals in the National League Central. And while Tampa Bay is 2 out in the East, they lead the American League wild card race. We don't tend to talk about the wild card race this early in the season, but they are 2 games up in that department. Southwest Cubs starting lineup: Reed Johnson, Ryan Theriot, Derek Lee at the top. Ramirez, Soto DHing for the first time in his major league career. DeRosa's in right, so Kosuke out of the lineup against the lefty. Matt Merton just got called up for AAA Iowa. Eric Patterson sent down. Henry Blanco catching, and Ronnie Cedeno will play second and hit 9th.
Take a look at the Rays defensively. Eric Hinsky in left field, B.J. Upton over in center, Gabe Gross in right field. Desperate third baseman Evan Longoria at third, Jason Bartlett at shortstop, Akinori Iwamura at second base, Willie Ibar over at first, Deanna Navarro will be doing the catching tonight for left-hander Scott Kashmir. Mentioned this might be the best pitcher nobody knows about. This guy just does nothing but miss bats. 51 2/3 innings pitched, only 34 base hits surrendered, only 2 home runs among those 34 hits.
The Kia umpires, Paul Schreiber in his 11th year, will work the plate. Kerwin Danley, good to see him back in action. He missed some time after getting hit in the jaw by a pitch in Los Angeles early in the season. Diaz and Bell at second and third respectively, and the left-hander Scott Kashmir ready to work. 93 on a very good fastball, but it missed the zone on Reed Johnson, who has 31 career at bats. Against Kashmir's 10 strikeouts, 8 hits, 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run. And there's the first strike of the night, 1-1.
Now, most of the time you'll see the Rays left-hander featuring that straight 4-seam fastball, but he's been working a little more on a 2-seamer this year, trying to get some movement away from the right-handed hitters.
Swing and a miss. And it's now 1-2. Nice homecoming of sorts for Reed Johnson over the weekend in Toronto as the Cubs took 2 of 3. He hit a big home run in the second game of that series, and it's a homecoming for Lou Piniella in this series. Liner is caught by Iwamura. For out number 1, Iwamura without an error all season long. And the Rays have the second fewest errors, just 29 in all of baseball. They've really done it as Joe Madden, the manager who replaced Lou Piniella, has really utilized that defense and speed early on in the season.
Now, talking to former Cubs skipper Don Zimmer, who's the senior baseball advisor with the Rays, about this Tampa team this year, and he said they play a National League style of baseball. They pitch it, they catch it, and they run the bases aggressively.
They have the best home ERA in all of baseball at 2.90, a much improved bullpen. This will not be an easy series for the Cubs. It's 2-0 Ontario. And there's Don Zimmer, who has been working with the Rays for a while. He's a senior advisor, was hired prior to 2004. And let's see, he was in uniform before the game, now in street clothes.
He comes out to most of the home games in uniform and hits some fungos and hangs around the cage just like he's always done ever since he was a youngster. And during the game, he goes up in the stands and quote unquote scouts.
Former Cubs player and manager. He was an all-star at second base with the Cubs in 1961. Later managed the Cubs to the 1989 National League East Division Championship, and this is his 60th year in baseball.
Now, when he told me he sat behind home plate and scouted during the game, I said, well, do you have a stopwatch? He said, no. I said, do you use a radar gun? No. I said, do you have a pencil? No. And he just tapped the side of his head. It's all right up here. Well, certainly he has earned the right to be an advisor or consultant at this stage of his career in life.
Kashmir is 3-2. Ontario, big leg kick in the pitch, fouled back behind the screen, and will do it again. The Cubs have taken 6 of their last 7 and 16 of 20. They are 20 games over 500. Best record in all of baseball, and they're trying to even up their road mark at 17-17. Another payoff pitch, and he just walked Terrio for the first base runner of the night. And as you pointed out when we were at Rogers Center, that park looks bigger because there wasn't much dirt. They just had the cutouts. Well, even though they have field turf here, they do have the dirt portion of the infield.
Makes a huge difference, at least optically, when you look down at the field and have that dirt infield. It breaks up the grass areas of the field and makes it look like a normal sized ball field.
Fouled back by Derek.
Speaking of the size of the ball field, 315 right down the left field line, but then it goes out rather steeply to 370 in the gap in left center, 404 in straightaway center, 322 down the line in right. Very fair ballpark here. Have some catwalks that will come into play from time to time.
The 0-1 pitch is outside. First time Derek has faced Kazmir. They have catwalks, big rings around the top of the ballpark, and the bottom two, which you can kind of see, one is black and the other one is lighter, that is above it, way in the outfield. If it hits one of those catwalks in fair territory, a batted ball, it's a home run. If it hits one of the closer rings to home plate, you just basically play the bounce wherever it ends up. And if you hit it on any of the catwalks in foul territory, it's a foul ball. Even if it's caught, it's no play. It's just foul. I don't know how many cats are up there, but I'm sure they get a lot of cardio.
Or supermodels, for that matter, on the catwalk.
Yeah. Terrio, the runner at first, one out. And the 1-2 pitch to Lee, that's outside. It's 2-2 on Lee, who's back on defense. Had a good day as the DH on Sunday, 2 hits and 3 RBIs. As the Cubs beat the Blue Jays 7-4 to take that 3-game series 2-1. Now the second baseman, Iwamura, way over near second base, guarding against a stolen base, and maybe expecting Derek to pull the ball a little bit, but with the way Kazmir is throwing right now, Derek might want to just shoot one if he can through that big hole. Easier said than done.
Yeah, a couple of pickoff attempts there at first base. Doesn't have a great move for a left-handed pitcher, something that I'm sure will come with more experience. This guy made it to the major leagues when he was 20 years old. He's only 24 now. It's one part of his game that could use some improvement.
Missed on his fastball, particularly to Lee, it's been right in that area, high and outside.
Well, Navarro wanted a couple of those pitches up, but I think the last few have been up accidentally. Tried to go up the ladder on Derek, and when he didn't bite, they wanted to go back down into the strike zone, and Ray's lefty wasn't able to do that.
Runner goes, and a fly ball lifted into center for Upton. And he makes a catch. B.J. Upton in center, the older brother of Justin Upton, who plays for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
That's one thing the Cubs players were warned about playing here at Tropicana Field was do not take your eye off the ball once it goes up. I guess it's cloth that's lining the inside of the roof of the stadium here is about the same color as a baseball, and much like the Metrodome in Minnesota, if you take your eye off that ball for 1 second, it's hard to pick it up once again. So Lou warned his players not to take their eyes off the ball.
Big cut by Ramos, and he fouled it back.
Of course, the one at the Metrodome has baseball-sized holes in the roof to make it even doubly tough.
Now they're looking to be in a new ballpark by 2012. And it would be an open-air retractable roof stadium on the waterfront here in St. Petersburg. Another foul by Ramos. One of those home runs was hit on Sunday in Toronto. He has a 7-game hitting streak. Two-strike pitch, rides high.
It's apparent that's something that the Rays like to do in that 2-strike count. Elevate that fastball up above the letters, hope to get a swinging strike. And when you have a fastball like Kazmir's, you can afford to go up there.
He has allowed just 1 earned run here at home in 4 starts. And Bob, this team has won 22 of its last 26 in this ballpark. They have the 3rd best home record in the major leagues, behind only the Red Sox and the Cubs. Right now the Rays are 26-11 here at Tropicana Field. Finally went with a breaking ball, and it's now 2-2.
The Cubs putting together some good at-bats here in the first inning. Obviously, anytime you're facing a high-caliber pitcher like the Cubs are tonight, you want to run up that pitch count as much as you can, as early as you can. Not only to hopefully tire out Kazmir and get him out of the ball game, but also to see as many pitches as you can to take back a good scouting report to your teammates.
Doesn't look like he's a very comfortable at bat.
Well, we talked about that 4-seam fastball, and we've seen a boatload of them here in the first inning, up high in the zone. Real hard slider, an occasional straight changeup. I mentioned earlier, not much of a pickoff move, but tough to take this guy deep. Only 2 home runs in over 50 innings pitched this year.
Two to Aramis, and he went around, according to Paul Schreiber, and that's a strikeout. Kazmir, who led the American League in strikeouts last year, that is a way for him to get out of jams. He did give up a walk with 1 out, no runs, and it'll be Ryan Dempster to take the ball when we come back.
Only 2 weeks to save on the 26-mile-per-gallon Mercury Mariner. Time's running out to get a no-charge moonroof, 6-disc CD changer, and Sirius satellite radio. But you gotta hurry, and you gotta put Mercury on your list.
I need you. I need you every single day, and I want you. I want you every single way, and I need you. I need you every single day, and I want you. I want you every single way, and it's love, it's love, it's love, it's la 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 la, it's love, it's love, it's love, it's la 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 la, it's love.
Plan your next corporate or social function in one of Wrigley Field's private party accommodations. Wrigley Field offers a variety of private catered opportunities to host and impress your group. The Mezzanine Suites, presented by Nuveen Investments, has 4 convenient rental plans to fit all budgets and needs. For larger parties of 75 to 100, the Batter's Eye, located in the center field Bud Light bleachers, provides a unique view of the game. All private party accommodations provide generous food and beverage packages, as well as VIP parking. Call 773-404-CUBS or visit Cubs.com.
Hey, you gotta hurry in for this Mercury offer. Right now, get big savings on the 26-mile-per-gallon Mercury Mariner.
Now get Mariner with no-charge moonroof, 6-disc CD changer, and Sirius satellite radio with 0% financing for 60 months.
You gotta put Mercury on your list.
Right-hander Ryan Dempster is ready to work against this Rays Southwest starting lineup. Akinori Iwamura, this will be his only game of the series. He'll start serving a suspension tomorrow. We'll tell you more about that later. Willie Ibar in for the DL to Carlos Pena, who has a broken finger. Upton, Hinsky, Longoria. Carl Crawford would normally be in left, but he's suspended for tonight. Former Cub Cliff Lloyd DHing. Navarro, Gross, and Bartlett rounded out. And Dempster's ready to work, and there's a strike on Iwamura, former third baseman, who's now at second base. As their top prospect is here, Evan Longoria, playing the hot corner. And that's hit foul. The bearded Ryan Dempster ready to go.
We've kind of seen this progress. He went from just the goatee and some long sideburns and started to fill in between with those red whiskers.
I would say by his next start it'll be about even. A little uneven right now.
That's about the time it'll get hot and humid back at Wrigley, and he'll want to shave it all off.
Well, he has less in the back, it looks like, and more in the front.
There's a lot of that going around.
2-2 on Iwamura. I'll tell you, Bob, it's not easy to keep track of all the suspensions for the Rays, who's coming, who's going, after their big brawl at Fenway Park on their last trip with the Boston Red Sox. 5 Rays were suspended, a total of 23 games. Johnny Gomes has already completed his 5-gamer. James Shields will finish his tomorrow. He'll start on Thursday. Carl Crawford, a 4-game suspension. That ends tonight. Bouncer foul past Ramos at third base. Iwamura got 3. And that'll begin tomorrow. And right-hander Edwin Jackson is still appealing his 5-game suspension. Coco Crisp got under their skin the night before by sliding hard into second base, and Shields hit him, and boy, good thing those 2 punches did not connect. There would have been some serious damage. Foul tip, strike 3, so Dempster begins his night with a strikeout.
Take a quick look at the Cubs defensively behind Ryan Dempster. Brought to you by Rico. Move your ideas forward with Rico dependability. Matt Mert back in the big leagues playing left field tonight. Reed Johnson in center. Mark DeRosa over in right field. Ramirez, Terrio, Cedeno, and Lee across the infield tonight. Henry Blanco doing the catching while Giovanni Soto DHs tonight. And Ryan Dempster on the mound for the Cubs. I asked Gio about being the designated hitter. You get a look at Ryan Dempster's numbers this season. Really good. Up and down, in and out, back and forth.
Willie Ibar, a switch hitter, swing and a miss. Nice split from Demp.
Yeah, Gio said he's DH'd a little in the past at the minor league level, and he said the hardest thing is just keeping your mind occupied between at bats. You know, as a catcher, obviously you don't have time to think about your last at bat or your next at bat. You've got to concentrate on helping your pitcher get through an inning.
I think Soto's probably better suited, or at least has done it more recently, talking about DHing, than some of the veterans on this team, this being a National League ball club. Gio said he did it actually a lot last year. Ibar strikes out. It's 2 in a row for Dempster. And last year at AAA Iowa, they wanted to keep his bat in the lineup, so he probably did it more last year than any year of his minor league career.
Boy, complete game, was just on top of everything, especially the split-fingered fastball. That was his go-to pitch. Every time he got to 2 strikes, he went to that splitter. We've seen a couple of punch-outs in this ball game already on the split-fingered fastball. That's one of those pitches, Len, that seems for some guys to kind of come and go. Some nights you'll have a real good one. Other nights you won't have a good feel for it. And some nights it's just terrible. But his last couple starts, he's really had a good one.
Well, he is working quickly tonight. He's 2-0 on Upton, a converted shortstop, now playing center field. Just missed. Well, it looked like a pretty good pitch, but he did not get the call from Paul Schreiber, and it's 3-0. Eric Hinsky, a former 17th round pick of the Cubs, is on deck. He's playing left for Crawford tonight. That's a strike. Man, that is ball 4. I'll tell you, Upton appeared to react like that was strike 2.
You can see Henry Blanco's reaction as well. Just a slight hesitation before throwing the ball back to Dempster. He thought he had a good pitch right there. Henry sets up right on the outside corner. There's that slight delay by Henry before throwing the ball back. A couple of pitches right there near the outside corner didn't get the call.
So here's Hinsky with 2 outs, and you always have to keep an eye on Upton. The Rays are first in the majors with 80 stolen bases. Upton has 22 of those 80.
Carl Crawford with 19 and Jason Bartlett with 14.
The pitch. That's a strike.
Yeah, until this ball team gets Carlos Pena back, I think you'll see them play a very aggressive National League style of offense. When they get the right guys on base, I expect them to be in motion, maybe play a little hit and run, has some good contact hitters in the middle and near the bottom of their order.
The Cubs have won 11 of Dempster's 14 starts this year, trying to extend his winning streak to 4 games. That would tie his career best. Leads the majors in opponents' batting average at 185. But he's still looking for his first win on the road. He is 0-2, but has a 2.59 earned run average. So he has pitched well enough to get a victory. It just hasn't happened yet away from Wrigley Field. So he's 8-0 at home, 0-2 on the road. Runner goes. Throw by Blanco, right on the money. Tag applied by Terrio. What a perfect throw by one of the best in the business, Henry Blanco, from behind home plate. That'll end the first inning. We are scoreless from Tampa.
Here we can see that the structure of price variance is going to shift unilaterally according to daily expenditures and profit margins. And here on slide 88 of 250, we have a contribution margin.
That's why Southwest Airlines has 15 daily one-stop and connecting flights from Chicago Midway to Dallas Love Field, so you can always catch a later flight. And you can count on us to get you there with our convenient flights and on-time service.
You're now free to be more productive.
Get a new look for your home with treated engineered wood siding from Louisiana Pacific from Menards. It comes with a 50-year warranty, will not rot, warp, or split. Only $689 for a 16-foot piece. Finish off the new look with aluminum soffit and fascia. They're low maintenance and help ventilate your home. They're available in 14 colors and never need painting. Right now, all Sell Even soffit products are 10% off. Look for these and other great deals in Menards Summer Sale Flyer.
Save big money at Menards.
Toyota moving forward is more than just a slogan, it's the way it is. Hello, I'm Bruce Dickstein of David Bruce Toyota. Toyota's having a remarkable year. The reason? Toyota builds superior vehicles. Vehicles like this.
Lease an 09 Toyota Camry LE for $209 per month for 36 months or buy for $20,158.
David Bruce Toyota delivers a buying experience and an atmosphere based on trust and respect that keeps our customers coming back.
I'm happy where I'm at right now. I really am. I'm very happy where I'm at. It's worked out well for everybody. And I enjoy the city of Chicago a lot. At the same time, I enjoy Wrigley Field. It's a wonderful, wonderful place to watch a baseball game, to manage a baseball game. It's exciting. It's full every day. And we get a lot of media attention. And the team has been playing well, so let's hope that we can continue that.
That's Tampa native and former Rays manager Lou Piniella. Managed here for 3 years, and it was tough as the DH Soto's in there, 2 balls, no strikes. Said he was a little unsure of the reception he was going to get tonight, but he said, I left enough tickets. So hopefully those people are going to take care of him. And even the people who booed, I think they were looing more than anything else.
I think you're absolutely right.
Still very popular here. He had a losing season every year he was here. By the end, just a little too much for him to take. So he was out for 1 year, did some broadcasting work, able to spend some quality time with his family, and then came back to managing last year with the Cubs. And in the end, he was glad he came back here. He was able to spend a lot of time with his family, including his father, who passed away during that period. Longoria throws over and Soto's out as we begin the second. And Lou hanging out with the grandkids this morning. Wanted to see his mother this week. We met his 2 sons, Derek and Lou Jr., before the ball game. Nice young men, and I know they're happy dad's back here for at least a few days.
Yeah, he's not the manager of the Cubs to them. He's just dad, and they're happy to have him home for a few days.
Outside corner strike on Mark DeRosa.
Yeah, one of the tickets that Lou left tonight is the hardest working man in the Tampa St. Pete area. He's the pastor at Lou's church. But he's got a good sense of humor, which I'm sure comes in handy when Lou is one of your parishioners. Can you see Lou running up to the pulpit to argue a point that the pastor makes? What do you mean?
Yeah. Well, Lou grew a little impatient here. The Rays didn't spend a lot of money on payroll. Now, is this a normal heckler here that I'm listening to? It is. Here are on-field microphones, so we might have to listen to that for the next 3 days. 3-1 on DeRosa. Make it 3-2.
Leather lungs.
Is that his kid there on the right? We're not quite sure, but he's a little embarrassed. 3-2, and he walked him.
Boy, it's apparent early on that whether by design or by accident, Casimir throwing a lot of pitches up around the letters at the top of the strike zone and even higher. If the Cubs can lay off of that pitch, they get some base on balls and create the opportunity for a big inning.
This road telecast here on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in beautiful high definition by Sharp Aquas. Matt Merton is back. The Cubs needed a right-handed bat. Alfonso Soriano's on the disabled list. And by the way, Sori back with a team for this series. Was out doing some running and working out and doing everything to keep his body in shape, but trying to protect that broken left hand. He's going to get it looked at again on Friday, and then we'll be told just how much more he can do. He really would like to get back before the All-Star break. Would love to participate in the All-Star game if he's voted in. Well, we're not quite sure if that's going to happen. His #1 priority is to get back for his team. As Merton swings and misses. Matt did a good job getting on base at Iowa. He had a .397 on base percentage. His slugging down, however, .382. And as he begins tonight as a major leaguer, his career slugging is .451, but he just wasn't hitting for a lot of power at AAA. Eric Patterson was optioned back to make room for Merton, who swings and misses and strikes out. Two down here in the second.
Well, not exactly the start to this go round in the big leagues that Matt Merton was looking for. 3 fastballs, the last one down and in, just couldn't get to it. Hey, you brought up a good point between innings, Len. Casimir has more fastball and is more of a power pitcher than the Cubs are used to seeing from a left-handed pitcher. Most of the lefties in the National League are what we loosely term finesse lefties. Throw lots of change-ups, lots of breaking balls, spot their fastball in and out. Casimir's more of a power pitcher. He just rears back and lets it go.
Last year, Casimir had a career-high 239 strikeouts that led the American League. He was just 23, the youngest AL strikeout champion since Frank Tanana, another left-hander in 1975. Tanana was 22 that season. And he led the majors until Jake Peavy edged him out by 1 in the extra game. Now that's not fair. Padres had 163 games and the Rays only 162. Well, the Cubs have made him work here early on. Casimir's from Houston, Texas, was a first-round pick of the Mets in 2002. And what a deal the Rays were able to make. They got him and right-hander Jose Diaz in exchange for a couple of right-handers, Victor Zambrano, who's dealt with arm trouble, Bartolome Fortunato as well back in 2004. It was quite a steal for the Rays. 1-2 to Blanco. Slider just missed. It surrounded the outside part of the plate.
And Paul Schreiber is established very early on. He's going to make the pitchers throw it over that outside corner. He's not going to give him any wiggle room out there away.
In the air to left, and it's Hinsky to pull it in. Well, in the first and the second, Kazmir with a 1-out walk, but no runs. We are still scoreless from Tampa Bay.
On June 18th, 19th, and 20th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., get a free sample-sized iced coffee at McDonald's.
What your engine feels, you feel. And when it's running clean, you feel it. That's why Pennzoil Motor Oil is specially formulated to clean out up to 15% of sludge in the first oil change. And a cleaner engine just feels better. So change with Pennzoil and feel the clean. Not just oil, Pennzoil. And now a 5-quart jug is only $10 for a limited time at Walmart.
First there is a mountain, then there is no mountain. First there is a mountain, then there is no mountain, then there is...
The 2008 Toyota RAV4. Rated at 27 miles per gallon, you're good to go. Anywhere. Visit your Toyota dealer and lease one now for just $249 a month. Toyota, a great way to keep moving forward.
Feel the joy with McDonald's and Coca-Cola. And right now, grab a large sweet tea, Coke, or other soft drink for just $1. Cool.
Cubs baseball is brought to you in part by Kia Motors. Kia, the power to surprise. Rico, move your ideas forward with Rico dependability. And by Nissan and your Nissan dealer.
Hey, Cub fans, can you imagine watching your first place Cubs from the front row at Wrigley Field? Well, now you can. Visit Cubs.com and click on the CBOE front row seats auction to bid on tickets in the front row behind home plate and along the first base line. Don't miss your chance to be part of the action and cheer for your favorite Cubs from the very front row. The next auction starts on June 23rd for some key July dates.
Hinsky hits a ground ball. It backed up Derek Lee. Dempster over quickly to cover. 1 out here in the last of the second.
Your third baseman, number 3,
Evan Longoria batting. My Baba had a nice chat with former Cubs play-by-play voice Dwayne Stats. Always good to see Dwayne. He's now the longtime TV voice of the Tampa Bay Rays, and he says Longoria is very advanced defensively. There's Dwayne on the right. Joe McGrain, former big league left-hander. Well, he's still left-handed, I think. Works alongside. They have a little fun over there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he just marveled at how Longoria has handled that position.
Only 4 errors so far this season. We talked about the stellar defense that the Rays have been playing this year. Jason Bartlett, the shortstop, with 8 errors, which is an understandable number for a shortstop in the amount of ground that Bartlett covers, but only 4 at third base for Longoria. Very impressive.
Well, just 6 games into his major league career. Earlier this year, he signed a 6-year contract for $17.5 million. Club options after that for 2014 and then 2015 and 16.
That may turn out to be a huge bonanza for the Rays.
The Menards big Lumbers stat, tied for first in homers among American League rookies. That is foul, just foul outside of third base.
Oh, I thought so. I had to look it up. I thought so. Joe McGrain's in my book.
All right.
2 for 3 with a home run. He also struck me out once, so we'll call it even.
Now, he started Game 7 of the '87 World Series, I believe. The Cardinals against the Twins. As a rookie. Another name on that Longoria list, the home runs, David Murphy, an outfielder with Texas, who already has 47 RBIs. Now he's run at full 3-2. The major league leaders among rookies in home runs, Joey Votto and Giovanni Soto with 11. Derek over in foul ground, and there's a lot of it here in this ballpark. 2 down. I'd say aside from Oakland, there's probably as much foul territory here as in any other park in baseball currently.
I think you're absolutely right, especially in the area right in front of both dugouts. A long run for those corner infielders to get over there and catch pop fouls.
Good to see former Cub Cliff Floyd. Spent 1 year with the Cubs last season.
With that very distinctive setup that he has at home plate, dropping those hands down in the slot as the pitcher goes into his delivery.
Been a lot better here than on the road, hitting .349 at Tropicana Field, .179 on the road. Check swing, that's a strike. 0-2. And the American League is a good spot for Cliff, who has dealt with some nagging injuries for a while now. Did not go on the DL with the Cubs, but had some neck, shoulder, and elbow problems. And all of his starts, 22 of them this year, have come at DH. He did miss a month after right knee surgery in April. But it was great having Cliff back in his hometown last season, and he was on a playoff team. And we know he can hit. He'll give you a very tough at bat. Cliff Floyd gets his former teammate Ryan Dempster for the first time. They were teammates not only with the Cubs, but way back when with the Florida Marlins, and Cliff was 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts against him before that long home run. That ball was walloped.
Yes, indeed it was. That's one of the few bad split-fingered fastballs that Ryan has thrown in his last couple of starts. Our Belvedere home run replay. Watch the location of the pitch. Belt high inside part of the plate, off speed. Cliff Floyd hits it a mile.
So he continues to crush the ball here at home.
Well, you can make a mistake with an off-speed pitch down low and away or off the plate away and still get an out. But when you make a mistake with an off-speed pitch up on the inside part of the plate, that's usually the result.
Deanna Navarro, a switch hitter. And again, talking to Dwayne Stats, he's come a long way defensively. Navarro has taken charge behind the plate, having a terrific offensive season at .327. Low and inside. I know a lot of people back home, and rightly so, they're excited about the big Crosstown series coming up. Sox and the Cubs at Wrigley Field, and then a weekend after that down on the south side. But I know one thing, that the Cubs players and the manager and the coaching staff, they're not thinking about the Sox. Called strike 3. This is going to be a very challenging series here at Tampa Bay. Cliff Floyd with a home run, and Tampa Bay has an early 1-0 lead.
Something in the way you move, little darling. Yes,
something in the way you talk that makes me realize there's something in the way you move.
The 2008 Volvo XC90 Special Edition SUV. Get together with yours at the Volvo Model Year-End event. Now's the best time to get an 08 Volvo. Event ends June 30th.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago.
When you need your vehicle repaired, look no further than River City Pipe Vendors. Why? Other than auto body, River City Pipe Vendors can repair anything and everything, from oil changes to transmission and engine overhauls. River City Pipe Vendors is one of the only places that repairs everything. The same technician will always repair your vehicle and will know your vehicle. No one is on commission. River City Pipe Vendors tells it like it is. Trust Clinton's own full-service repair facility. Trust River City Pipe Vendors.
1977 Harley-Davidson Lowrider /cut exhaust. 2008 Night Train powder-coated twin-cam engine. Miller Lite, first brewed 1973. Perfect combination of refreshment and taste. Next.
Miller Lite, the ultimate light beer.
Time now for our Coors Light freeze cam. Let's go back to the ninth inning on Sunday. Marco Scutaro of the Blue Jays hit a bouncer and was thrown out. He was called out. You see the ball has not yet reached the glove of Micah Hoffpauir. Looked like he got in. Manager John Gibbons got tossed, but the Cubs got the call and they weren't going to give it back.
No. Take your breaks wherever you can get them.
A lot of Cubs fans here in the ballpark. There are a lot of Midwesterners who live in this part of the state as Ronnie Cedeno gets his first at bat. He's hitting ninth and playing second. What happens a lot here in Florida is a lot of people from the Northeast, they come down I-95 and they end up in the Miami area. And those from the Midwest, they go down I-75 and they end up here. So there's definitely a Midwest flavor on the Gulf Coast. 2-1. I said earlier we're in Tampa. We're actually at St. Petersburg, which is across old Tampa Bay from Tampa proper. 2-2 the count.
And we know the Cub fans are going to make a lot of noise here tonight as soon as the Cubs do something. And it seems like a lot of the Rays fans have noisemakers. I hear party whistles and bells and all different kinds of apparatus here to make noise inside the dome.
The 2-2 pitch. Hit back to the screen, foul.
So far, very little to cheer about unless you're a fan of good pitching. Now that's a look.
Do you think that was an accident that he forgot his regular clothes and just had to borrow?
Just happened to have those laying around, I guess.
Strikeout number 3 for Kazmir. And back to the top and Reed Johnson. Well, it was a day to remember yesterday for the Chicago Cubs. Team got up early in Toronto and then took a bus to the airport, flew to Albany, New York, bussed from there to Cooperstown. The weather was a big issue yesterday. A lot of rain and hail. Looked like we were going to get the final ever Hall of Fame game underway. And then just before the first pitch was thrown, the skies opened up again and the game was canceled. Cubs were to play the San Diego Padres. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get a tour of the Hall of Fame. I read that Jim Edmonds got a quick look. But it was great to go there. Unfortunately, did not get to see that final game, nor was the home run derby able to get going because of the rain.
Probably a good thing that the home run derby didn't start because we may still be there.
Yes,
little itty bitty
296
ballpark.
to left.
296 to left, 312 to right, only 336 in the gap in left center field.
The attendance was 9,571. They did have the parade, which we did not see, but we were told was very cool. Cubs were on the trolley cars as they came over from the gymnasium to Doubleday Field.
I did catch just a snippet of the parade. I mean, people were lined 6 or 8 deep along the main street there in Cooperstown. Obviously a lot of Cubs fans in attendance. Old time Americana. It was beautiful.
I don't know how many more opportunities we'll get to go there, so it was nice to be in that part of the country and to see Cooperstown, home of the Hall of Fame. Fergie Jenkins was there. Yosh Kawano giving his trademark fishing cap to the Hall. Longtime Cubs clubhouse manager Greg Maddux submitted his Padres jersey from his 350th career win.
Well, by the time he's done, Greg Maddux will have his own wing in the Hall of Fame.
The lefty coming back on a 1-2, and it's sliced foul.
If I'm not mistaken, Cooperstown was named for James Fenimore Cooper, the author. He wrote a lot of his books about that particular area of upstate New York.
I did not know that.
I could be wrong, but that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Where's Brenlyville?
You don't want to go there, I know that. Especially not after dark.
Cubs are still searching for their first hit. They have walked twice, but that's been it. Kazmir on a 2-2. Got away from Navarro. He'll pick it up and get Terrio at first base. Kazmir now with 4 strikeouts through 3. The Rays will bat in the last of the third, up 1-0.
Alex Klein is a real Geico customer, not a paid celebrity. So to help tell his story, we hired that guy who does those funny sound effects.
My car was totaled over 1,000 miles from home. So I called Geico. And in less than 10 business hours, I got a check for a new car.
Geico. Real service, real savings.
I am your idea. Color me. Get me noticed. Make me shout. And stand out. Give me Rico color that always works. I am your idea. Make me brighter. Make me shine. I am your idea. Get me in there. Make it happen. In flying colors. It's you and me, and here we go. With Rico.
At Nissan, we started with a stitch. Then we thought 2 would be even better. We thought the seat should appear at the touch of a button, and the folks in the back should have a moonroof too. We thought you should see traffic in real time and control your music seamlessly with your iPod. Then we thought, why not bring it all to you first? Introducing the future of the crossover. Here, now. The all-new 2009 Nissan Murano.
Friday and Saturday, the Crosstown Classic lives on Comcast Sportsnet. Extensive 1-hour pregame shows, the highest quality broadcast, and all the postgame reaction from the ballpark. The Crosstown Classic, Friday and Saturday on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Some of your favorite Cubs players are headed for Universal Orlando Resort December 10th through the 14th, and you're invited. Join past and present Cubs players for private events at Universal Orlando's 2 amazing theme parks. Plus enjoy an on-field baseball clinic at historic Jackie Robinson Ballpark. This exclusive vacation is available only through AAA Travel. Call 1-866-YOUR-AAA for details on how you can be part of the fun. Gabe Gross began the year with the Milwaukee Brewers and is now with the Rays after being acquired from Milwaukee on April 23rd for a minor league right-handed pitcher, Josh Butler. Gabe Gross was at Wrigley Field on opening day.
And he was probably asked for his input on some of these Cubs pitchers and maybe even some of the Cubs hitters, because certainly he's seen them more than any of the other Rays over here. So you take your scouting reports wherever you can get them.
A wind and the 2-1 offering, and it's low. 3-1. Gross is hitting 8th. Jason Bartlett, the shortstop, 9th, and then back to the top, and Aki Iwamura. Fouled away. 3-2.
Well, and I can't help but think as I look at this ballpark, this was very nearly the home ballpark of the San Francisco Giants after the 1992 season. Then owner Bob Lurie sold the ball club and was going to move them down here to Tampa Bay and play in this very ballpark. Major League Baseball step in and pretty much forced Bob Lurie to take a lesser offer from local investors as Gross singles into center field, led by Peter McGowan, another local business interest in San Francisco. And the Giants, as we well know now, stayed in San Francisco, opening the way for the Rays to become one of the expansion teams in 1998.
Yeah, this building has been called the Florida Suncoast Dome, the Thunderdome, and now Tropicana Field. They've done a nice job with the new colors here. There's a lot of blue. But it used to kind of have a generic look. There's another base hit, back-to-back singles. That's Bartlett as he's on base. And there's a lot more life in this ballpark than I remember, and I think that's because the Rays are 40-29 and just 2 games out in the American League East. There was excitement here. It's been a while. They began play in 1998, and they have never had anything close to a winning season.
You know, Lennon, I think this area, you mentioned it earlier, suffers a little bit from the fact that so many transplants live here. We went through the same thing in Arizona as an expansion ball club. Just about every team that came to town had more fans than we had Diamondbacks fans. Now, certainly that's changed over the years in Arizona, and the process is taking place here in Tampa Bay as well.
And this franchise has lost at least 91 games every year since 1998. Best year they had was under Lou, 70-91 in 2004. Fouled back by Iwamura.
The one sack bunt on the season for Iwamura. They don't bunt a lot. Needless to say, Tampa Bay has only put down 9 sacrifice bunts this season.
The 0-1 that popped out of the mid of Blanco, but fortunately it hit his foot, kind of kept the ball in front of him. Larry Rothschild was the first manager in then Devil Rays history back in '98. He managed the team in '98, '99, 2000, and then part of 2001 when he was replaced by Hal McRae. A fly to left. Merton comes over near the line. He has it. The runners will hold. Larry still lives in the Tampa St. Pete area. Dan Wheeler back with the Rays, pitched for Larry when he was a manager here. And so did Dave Martinez, who's now on the Rays coaching staff. Dave Martinez, a former Cub.
Dave Martinez is the bench coach for Joe Madden.
Their hitting coach, also a former Cub, Steve Henderson. There are a lot of good Cubs and Rays connections here. That missed on Willie Ibar. Matt Sinatro, the Cubs first base coach, was Lou's bullpen coach here. Wide open stance for Ibar. Outer third on a sinker, strike one. Cubs GM Jim Hendry's from nearby Dunedin, Florida. So is Tim Wilkin, who worked for the Rays before coming to the Cubs. Tim is a Cubs director of amateur and professional scouting, so this has been old home week for him. We saw Tim in Toronto and now here at Tampa Bay. The 2-1 pitch, slapped the other way. Gross is going to be held by Tom Foley, the third base coach. As Merton's throw went all the way to home plate. So they are loaded up with only one out for Upton.
Boy, a phrase Ryan Dempster likes to use, and we've stolen it from him on several occasions: inning management. And the idea being you want to try to eliminate as many base runners ahead of the guys that are in the run producing spots in the order as possible. And when you start out with base hit for the 8-9 hitter in the lineup, you're setting yourself up for a tough inning. Now he's got to work his way through the 3, 4, 5 hitters of the Devil Rays with the bases loaded.
It's rare to see Dempster give up 3 hits in an inning. He came in having allowed just 60 hits in under 90 innings, which is just fantastic. Now he has walked, including tonight, 36, but he's keeping that base runners per inning right around 1. So the way you like it, 2 strikes now on Upton, and he'd like a strikeout here, or a ground ball hit at one of his infielders. One and two. Kind of wondered, going from the short relief role back to starting, if he had 95 in him. A lot of times starting pitchers, they have to save it up, but he didn't hold back on that last pitch. I don't think, Bob, we saw him throw much harder than 95 when he was a closer.
I think you're absolutely right. And really, velocity has never been his strength. I mean, he's always been able to throw in the low 90s, but he needs to have that movement on his sinking fastball. He needs to have that down movement on his slider and splitter. I mean, it's nice to be able to reach back and pop one at 95 every now and again if a hitter hasn't seen your best fastball. But if Ryan Dempster tries to get by overpowering hitters, he's probably not going to have the kind of success he's had up to this point.
Little tapper. Dempster will go glove to glove. They get the out at the plate. Nicely done. That was not easy. He just kind of shoveled that baseball right to his catcher to get the force out at home plate. 2 down in the inning. They're still loaded.
You know, as odd as it may sound, this is actually a play that most teams practice in spring training. It's more in the event of a squeeze bunt than a force play at home plate, but most clubs work on this. Have the pitcher come in and either barehand the ball straight to the catcher, or in the case of Ryan Dempster, the glove to glove flip just in time to get the force play at home plate. And you can see Gross coming into home plate, sliding to the infield side of home plate, making sure that Henry Blanco couldn't complete a relay throw onto first. But to break up a double play at home plate, just like you do at second base.
The 0-1 to Hinske. He checked his swing and he was able to hold 1-1. Wally Bell made the call from third. Well, as we see some players that we either haven't seen before or haven't seen in a while, he thumbed through the Rays media guide. I think they've set a major league record for the largest media guide. 576 pages. They've only been around for 10 years.
Did they use extra big font or something?
No.
A lot of pages.
I would say no. I'd say it's pretty small font, actually. Dempster trying to get out of a jam. He's given up 3 singles in the inning. That moved Henske's hands. Henske won a World Series ring with the Boston Red Sox last year. Signed a minor league deal before this year with Tampa Bay. And again, the Cubs took him in the 17th round in '98 out of the University of Arkansas. Never did play for the Cubs in the majors.
I was just about to say, this is definitely a pitch you want to have something happen right here. You don't want to go to the full count.
Oh, he made that happen there as he strikes out Henske swinging. On the backswing, it looked like he might have hit Henry. And I think Henry is okay. Nice job by Dempster to get out of it with no damage whatsoever. 1-0 Rays.
At Infinity, we believe acceleration should feel less like a quick burst of speed and more like a limitless force of nature. The 306 horsepower G from Infinity. Lease an Infinity G sedan for $349 a month for 24 months.
Dex, do you know of any laundromats around here?
13 within a 5-mile radius.
That take credit cards?
4. The 2 on Abbey Street will do your laundry for you. You might need both of them. I also know a good barber and a personal trainer. Ooh, and a good dating service.
Introducing DexKnows.com. With complete local info, comparisons, and maps, it's the smartest local search on the web. Visit DexKnows.com.
Let me get $10 on pump 3.
All right.
Make that $7 on 3. Oh. Make it $2 on 3. Wait a minute.
And 64 cents on number 5, please.
The new bigger double cheeseburger, just $1.59. AM, PM, too much good stuff.
Thursday, Derek Lee and the Cubs are back in the Bay, ready to rack up a win against B.J. Upton and the Rays in HD, followed by Lowe's Cubs postgame live. Cubs Rays in HD, Thursday at 6 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Time now to get the Aflac trivia question. Under which manager did the Rays have a franchise record low ERA of 4.35? A lot of choices again, since this team's only been around since '98. They come in with an ERA of 3.88. So if this holds up, it would set a new record. They're 4th in the American League, and they're tops in the majors at home at 290. Kazmir to Lee. Ball 1.
Strikeout to end the inning didn't come without a cost. Henry Blanco getting up underneath the left-handed hitter. The long backswing catches Henry right on top the helmet. Thank goodness he had that helmet on.
Yeah, he didn't have just the cap like you wore at one time with the squatchy.
Yeah, see, that's a squatchy buster right there. That one would have caught you right on the button on top of the head.
Misses again. High and outside.
The Let's Go Cubbies chant has started on the third base side of the field, and the boos are raining down from the first base side.
Ball 4. So all 3 base runners for the Cubs have come on free passes.
Another very close blitz to that outside corner. I will give Paul Schreiber credit. He's been consistent. He has not called that pitch for either pitcher in this ballgame.
This is only the 2nd series ever between these two teams. The Cubs went 2-1 in a 3-game series at Wrigley Field back in early June of 2003. Dusty Baker was the manager of the Cubs, and Lou Piniella was at the helm of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Casimir now set. Holds his hands pretty high. Swing and a miss. Like Aramis looked back at Paul Schreiber maybe to ask him, would you have called that a strike? And then he shook his head as if to say, oh, you wouldn't have? Okay.
That was another one of those elevated fastballs. That seems to be his go-to pitch tonight. He has thrown a lot more straight changeups than I anticipated. I was told it was a pitch that he used sparingly and usually only to the right-handed hitters in the lineup. There's one right there.
Well, for a guy who throws as hard as he does, you would think a changeup would be a very effective pitch, especially one that's going to go down to go along with that high heat. See him still moving that ball around. And it's hit foul. Still 1-2. Dickie V, baby! PTP! He is sitting right next to the Cubs dugout, lives in the area, and is a huge baseball fan. Will he be a PTPer? Is that what you call primetime player? Yep. Popped down to the mid of Navarro, so I guess Evan Longoria would be a diaper dandy.
Yes,
Giovanni Soto.
If he still lives there, but Dick Vitale used to live in Bradenton, Florida, in the same neighborhood as Don Robinson, a former teammate of mine with the San Francisco Giants.
Another one golfed foul, and when I say golfed foul here, it's G-U-L-F. You going to do any deep sea fishing this week?
No. Boy, there's some good looking boats right across from our hotel, though, out in the harbor. I'm not sure which harbor that is, but some people have made a lot of money in their lifetime to buy some of those rigs.
Just do what Fergie Jenkins did in Cooperstown. Just borrow one for an hour or two. Long pause by Casimir before the pitch. High on the heater. The American League Pitcher of the Month for May. And a 1.22 ERA, won 5 times. High drive to center, not going to go anywhere. And it's Upton to make the play. Still no hits for the Cubs. Here comes Soto for the second time. He grounded out his first time.
You know, Len, you always root for your teammates to do something good at the plate during the course of their at bat, but Giovanni Soto looked like a caged animal over there in that on deck circle. He couldn't wait to get up there and take his hacks. That's one thing as a DH. Rami just missed that pitch to straightaway center, the big part of the park. He knows that's not where he wanted to hit it, but Gio would look like he wanted to run up to home plate and take his at bat. Which probably makes it a little harder to be patient during the course of an at bat, I would think, for somebody who's used to playing every day, playing 9 innings of defense, taking their 4 or 5 at bats offensively. And it just seems like there's more of a sense of urgency when all you do is hit. Good patience here by Giovanni.
Short lead by Lee. And it's 2-1 on Soto. Well, the Cubs today joined the McCormick Foundation's campaign to help victims of the recent flooding in Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, and Missouri. And you're invited to visit McCormickFoundation.org/floods or call 866-242-5006 to contribute. That one's back out of play, 2-2. The McCormick Foundation will match the first $1 million raised through the campaign at 50 cents on the dollar. Cubs with a special connection to many in the affected areas. Des Moines, Iowa, for instance, is the home of the AAA Iowa Cubs. So again, go to that website or call the number on your screen to contribute. 2-2 to Soto, struck him out. Some good gas from Kazmir at 95.
And for me, Len, this is where the DH job really stinks. Now you've got to sit and wait for your next at bat. Your most recent memory of striking out on a pitch up out of the strike zone. At least when you're playing the game defensively, you can go out and make something happen with your glove or your arm or your legs to help your team win a game. Now all you can do is sit there and wait for your next turn.
I have a question for you. Soto not catching tonight. Is it off limits to talk to your pitcher, the guy you catch a lot? He's sitting on the bench, I'm sure, maybe near Larry Rothschild, watching Ryan Dempster. Or is this the kind of night where Henry Blanco's the only guy who really talks to the starter?
Well, I think that anybody that can help, anybody that has words of advice or encouragement, I think that's absolutely called for. I mean, the reality is Gio probably goes upstairs to the clubhouse while Ryan Dempster's out on the mound to watch the Rays hitters. Because chances are Gio will be behind the plate tomorrow night, and he wants to get a feel for what these guys are swinging at, what pitches are they taking, what pitches do they have real good swings at, and in order to do that, it's usually best to watch the game on a monitor or on a television set. So I would guess that Gio spends every other half inning up in the clubhouse.
Fouled back. So the fan right behind home plate apparently has decided Mark DeRosa is his target tonight. Only when Mark is at the plate do we hear from that Rays fan. Now with all the kids around, we assume that he keeps it clean.
Well, we certainly hope so. Junior's having a fun time with his mouth there next door.
The 2-2 popped him up. Iwamura goes over behind first and makes a catch. Leadoff walk, but Derek Lee never did get to second base. The Cubs have not put a runner in scoring position early on. It's 1-0 Rays.
Not too close. What do you think? I got that insurance?
What insurance is that, Yogi?
Aflac. The one you really need to have. If you don't have it, that's why you need it.
Need what?
Aflac. Well, if you get hurt and miss work, it won't hurt to miss work. And they give you cash, which is just as good as money.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Toyota moving forward is more than just a slogan. It's the way it is. Hello, I'm Bruce Dickstein of David Bruce Toyota. Toyota's having a remarkable year. The reason? Toyota builds superior vehicles. Vehicles like this.
Lease a new 09 Toyota Corolla LE for $179 per month for 36 months or buy for only $16,899.
David Bruce Toyota delivers a buying experience and an atmosphere based on trust and respect that keeps our customers coming back.
I have the greatest job in the world. I've rounded up cattle, sheep, and grandchildren. I've shown again and again why I'm a best friend and a respected colleague. I'm not a pet. I'm a member of the family. I have not, nor will I ever be, in a dog show. I've never worn a leash, just like my master.
You're out here for a reason. So are we. Tractor Supply Company. The stuff you need out here.
Time now to answer tonight's Aflac trivia question. Under which manager did the Rays have a franchise record low earned run average of 4.35? Has to be a former pitcher and pitching coach, right? Larry Rothschild. It was their first year in 1998.
That would have been my guess.
Boy, early on in the history of this franchise, Bob, they did not try to go young. They tried to bring in guys who can hit the ball out of the ballpark. So the numbers for Larry Rothschild as the manager. DeRosa goes over into the corner and right, and he makes a catch. Nice running grab to retire Longoria. We'll see Jose Canseco, Fred McGriff, Greg Vaughn,
Wade Boggs.
Yeah.
We talked about DeRosa and his running style. He covers so much ground with those powerful long strides. It doesn't look like he's running fast, but he covers a lot of ground.
Ozzie Guillen ended his major league career as a member of this organization. Cliff Floyd supplying the only run for either team tonight with a long home run to right in the second. Got the call. Cliff's not happy right now.
No, he's not. That off the body sinker that Dempster just threw started off the plate inside, tailed back over the corner, and they continue to have words.
Thought I heard Cliff refer to the fact that he is DHing tonight. I don't know what that has to do with it. Maybe the idea that my whole night rests on my hitting. I can't go out and make up for it by making a catch. 0-2. Hit foul at the plate.
Went right back in there again with the same pitch. See, I like this though. I mean, Cliff didn't like the pitch. He expressed his displeasure. Paul Schreiber told him why he thought it was a strike. They continued to have a conversation, but neither guy got animated. They rarely even looked in each other's direction, but they each got their point across. Paul Schreiber didn't need to rip off his mask and make a big show of it at home plate. He understands that major league hitters are going to be upset if they feel like they've had a bad pitch called on them, so he let him speak his piece and then said, let's go back to work.
Merton and Johnson are out there in left center, and it's Merton for out number 2. Not that it's a huge deal. We're in an American League park with the DH, but the Rays don't have Carl Crawford available because he's suspended. They only have 3 guys on their bench. But Cliff's still looking at Paul Schreiber as he went into the dugout.
And I guarantee you Paul Schreiber knows that. He probably took a peek over there. He probably hears him even right now. But unless Cliff says the magic word or gets personal with it, nothing's going to come of this.
Navarro keeps the inning alive with a base hit. Right now, Cliff is willing to talk and vent to anyone who will listen, and even those who really don't want to listen.
Yep. Act like you want to listen.
And as a teammate, what do you say? That's right, Cliffy.
That's right, Cliff. You're right, Cliff. You'll get him next time, Cliff.
The pitch to Gross. Ball 1. Two down. We're in the 4th. 1-0 Tampa Bay. We want to send out our condolences to longtime Chicago TV staple Joe Corneo, whose father recently passed away. We also want to send out get well wishes to Mike Collins, who is home recovering from a knee injury. Two and one on Gabe Gross. Also sad news, former Cubs pitcher Johnny Buzzhart pitched for the Cubs and the White Sox. 11 seasons in the major leagues, passed away at 71. Was with several other teams, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Houston. 1 on, 2 down. Dempster has a sign from Blanco. The pitch struck him out on a high fastball to end the inning. He has banned 5 Rays tonight to the 5th. The Cubs are still looking for their first hit against Kazmir. 1-0 Rays.
Now get 0% APR financing for 60 months on any 2008 Chevy HHR.
So, you're a green person, but which shade? Confusing, isn't it? Well, True Value's Color Made Simple can help. With exclusive tools, trained professionals, and expert advice, finding your color will always be simple. Now let's talk purple. True Value's Color Made Simple.
Meeting the challenge since 1940.
If you need to tow it, Quad City Spring has it. Quad City Spring is the area's suspension, spring, truck accessory, and towing experts. From goosenecks and fifth wheels to every kind of hitch imaginable, including Blue Ox base plates and tow bars, strong as an ox. And Quad City Spring installs and services everything they sell. So tow it right. Get your ride to Quad City Spring. Quad City Spring, 34th Street at River Drive in Moline.
The Crosstown Classic, Friday and Saturday on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Cubs baseball is brought to you in part by Aflac. Ask about it at work. And by the Toyota Tundra. Visit whytundra.com to find out why the Toyota Tundra is a great way to keep moving forward.
This Saturday, the Cubs host the White Sox at Wrigley Field. Game time is 12:05, but be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans will get a commemorative lapel pin. Compliments of Bank of America. Get you the pitching matchups coming up. As we move along, Matt Merton will lead off the 5th for the Cubs. First game back from the minors. Matt is now 3 out of 15 with 4 RBIs this year in the major leagues. Lou said they didn't want to send out Eric Patterson, but they just needed another right-handed bat. All the players available on the bench are left-handed tonight. Edmonds, Fontenot, Fukudome, and Hoffpower. Matt appeared in 8 games when he was up here from April 19th to May 1st. Well, we just looked, and none of the aforementioned bench players are actually on the bench. They might be doing what you talked about. They may be back in the clubhouse watching Kazmir on the video.
Just getting a little scouting report for future reference. It's one thing to read it on a piece of paper in words, high riding 4-seam fastball, sharp late breaking slider, and a pretty good straight changeup. But to actually go up and watch it on television, watch your own hitters approaching him, knowing your own hitter's strengths and weaknesses, it gives you a little better idea if in the future you ever have an at bat against Kazmir.
Tomorrow night in game 2, it'll be Carlos Zambrano and Andy Sonnenstein. Big Z will look for his 9th win, just like Ryan Dempster is tonight. Merton has struck out both times. Sonnenstein will go into that start at 7-3. Tough to catch up with that pitch. And then on Thursday, Sean Gallagher will pitch for the Cubs, and James Shields, who will come off his suspension, will try to even up his mark at 5-5. For the weekend, lefties on Friday, Danks and Lilly. Righties the rest of the way, Contreras and Marquis on Saturday, Vasquez and Dempster Sunday night. The only Cubs starter who's slated to face the White Sox both weekends is Ryan Dempster. Ted Lilly and Jason Marquis have been flip-flopped this next time around. Both coming off fantastic outings on Saturday and Sunday. Hit hard by Blanco, knocked down, but not enough by Iwamura, and that's the first hit for the Cubs. Comes with 1 out in the 5th.
Comes on a pitch out over the plate, down a little bit compared to the other pitches that Kazmir has thrown. I think that's the one adjustment the Cubs hitters need to make, and make quickly. Stop swinging at that high fastball.
Now, most pitchers, you want to make them get the ball up, but in the case of Kazmir, it might be just the opposite. You know, it's hard for me to even think maybe Josh Beckett with his great four-seam fastball, but how many starting pitchers basically live at the top of the strike zone anymore?
You know, I think back to my playing days and a gentleman who now broadcasts games for the Houston Astros, Jim Deshaies, and he didn't even have that good of a fastball, but he would throw it up there around the letters or even a little bit higher, and it looked so tempting. But even in the mid to upper 80s, it was a tough pitch to catch up to and do anything with.
Hit foul. That was a good slider. Maybe a changeup from Kazmir. 1-2. The next one, swing and a miss. That's 7 now for Kazmir, 2 gone.
Well, you know, Lennon, not to diminish anything that Kazmir has done this season in his career or in this ball game tonight, but players talk all the time about getting adjusted to the batter's eye, the background in dome stadiums. We talked about it at the old Houston Astrodome. It would take 2 full days before you felt like you were finally adjusted to the place where you could get the bat head on the ball consistently. We've seen a lot of funny swings from Cubs hitters tonight that we haven't seen all season long.
Yeah, it's a really tough matchup if you're not seeing the ball well to face a guy like Kazmir. Reed Johnson again has faced him more than anybody else in the lineup, and he's 0 for 2. Well, he's been almost unhittable in his starts here at home this season. We want to congratulate our good friend Pat Foley, who is back as the television voice of the Chicago Blackhawks. He'll work along with Eddie Olczyk, calling games here on Comcast Sportsnet. Once again, we're happy Pat is back.
Yes, indeed.
And a big news conference yesterday. A very emotional day for Pat.
Before we get too much deeper into this ball game, because I know they've got a game of their own to play, good luck to the Boise Hawks tonight. The Cubs rookie team getting ready to tee up for their first game of the season.
We will keep a close watch on the Boise Hawks this season.
You think?
Foul tip, strike 2.
Yeah, this is a doubleheader tonight. This is just the first game of the doubleheader. I'll be dialed in on the internet, checking out the radio telecast of the Boise Hawks game tonight.
We're looking forward to the pro debut of Michael Brendan. Fans are up here at Tropicana Field, 2-2 on Reed Johnson. 2-2 delivery. Johnson reached out. Slow bouncer. Barehanded by Longoria. He won't make a throw. Infield hit. Because Reed had to really reach for that pitch, it gave him a head start out of the box.
Now, sometimes when you get fooled so badly on a pitch, it works to your favor. He just tops it down that third baseline like a swinging bunt. He's leaning out of the batter's box as he makes contact. And that was probably a wise move on the part of the young third baseman Longoria. You throw that ball away down the right field line, even the slow-footed Henry Blanco would have a chance to score the tying run of this ball game. So rather than risk an ugly error, he just decided to hang on to the ball.
So for the first time tonight, the Cubs have a chance with a runner in scoring position. Might not have a lot of opportunities against Kazmir. Let's see if they can take advantage. A foul strike against Terrio, who has walked and struck out.
Boy, and it is going to be tough for Henry Blanco to score on a base hit to right field. Gabe Gross is very aware of Ryan Terrio's strengths and weaknesses. He knows he likes to hit the ball to right field. He's playing about as shallow as we've seen anybody play for the Riot out there in right field.
And B.J. Upton has a very good arm out in center. He has 7 assists already.
And all those things that I just mentioned, Mike Quade is already well aware of. He sees where the outfielders are playing. He judges how hard the ball is hit. He knows the speed of his runner at second base. He knows the game situation. All that enters into it before the ball is even put into play.
I can't think of another pitcher in recent memory who has consistently missed in the exact same spot almost every time. He's thrown 41 balls, and I bet over 30 of them have been high and outside to right-handed hitters. And they're all righties in the lineup.
You bring up a good point, Len, and this is something that I've had arguments with coaches about in the past. I think sometimes when you load up an all right-handed hitting lineup or an all left-handed hitting lineup, either way, I think in some respects it makes it easier for the opposing pitcher, because he doesn't have to make an adjustment to that 1 or 2 left-handed hitters in the lineup. Now suddenly that pitch that he's throwing up and away from those righties, he's going to be clipping a left-handed hitter, so you force him to make adjustments, get him out of his comfort zone a little bit. Of course, it helps if you have left-handed hitters that hit left-handed pitching well.
Grant Balfour, a right-hander, is up. The pitch, a bouncer, and it's off the glove of the first baseman, and the Cubs are going to get a run. Now tie it up as Blanco will score. Ibar tried to cut that ball off. It deflected off him, and then Iwamura couldn't get it. And it's 1-1. Well, we'll never know, but I think if that ball gets past Ibar, Iwamura gets it, and they might get the out.
I agree with you, Len. Iwamura has good range out there at second base. He looked like he was in a position to make the play. Now, granted, it was going to be a tough throw to the pitcher covering the bag, but Ibar with that diving attempt deflected it just enough to get away from the second baseman into right field, and Henry able to chug around for second base and score.
They've called it an RBI single for Terrio.
Well, just another way that the Devil Rays missed their starting first baseman Carlos Pena. We talked about offensively what he brings to the table. 46 home runs last year, 11 this year, but also a very good defender down there at first base.
Chicago native Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, just made a trip. And now it's Derek Lee with runners at first and third. Well, that's the value of contact from a contact hitter like Ryan Terrio. And the pitch to Lee, inside corner. Kazmir is pitching on regular rest because their off day yesterday. He was moved up in the rotation because of Shields finishing up his 6-game suspension. Kazmir missed over a month to begin the season because of a left elbow strain. So this is only his 9th start. 0-2 on Lee.
Well, given the struggles offensively against Kazmir in this ball game tonight, it wouldn't surprise me a bit to see Ryan Theriot break for second base here, try to get caught in a rundown, see if the Cubs can't steal a run at home plate.
Theriot not running, and it's outside.
Because of right-hand hitting Derek Lee at the plate, Longoria is playing extremely deep at third base. Reed Johnson can really get a big primary lead down there. If Theriot does break for second base, he'd be in a good position to come home. And Navarro loves to throw out runners behind home plate. No doubt in my mind he'd be throwing through to second base. If the Cubs were swinging the bats the way they normally do, having real good passes every time against that opposing pitcher, I'd say absolutely not. You let Derek Lee swing the bat all the way. But because Kazmir has been as good as he's been in the early going tonight, I think you have to take advantage of every opportunity, no matter how small it is. And if Theriot does break for second, obviously you don't want him to go all the way to the bag. I'm anticipating that Navarro's going to try to throw him out at second, so Ryan needs to pull up short, get caught in a rundown, and hope he can stay in it long enough for Reed Johnson to come down the line at third and score.
Well, all 3 of the Cubs' hits have at least touched infielders. The first hit was deflected by Iwamura into center. Outside, 3-2. Johnson kept the inning alive with an infield hit to third, and then Ryan Theriot's ball actually deflected off both infielders on the right side.
I'm pretty sure Theriot's going to go right now.
Yeah. 3-2 with 2 outs. Long pause by Kazmir. Theriot runs, and it's hit foul. The second place Cardinals are hosting the Kansas City Royals. 0-0 in the bottom of the second. They're in St. Louis. Cubs are 3.5 up in the Central. And this will be the 30th pitch of this inning for Scott Kazmir. There it is. He walked him, and they're loaded. And all of a sudden, that's going to be it for Kazmir. Time for the Heineken call to the pen. Right-hander Grant Balfour will come in to face Aramis Ramirez with the bases loaded in a 1-1 tie.
I need you. I need you every single day, and I want you. I want you every single way, and I need you. I need you every single day, and I want you. I want you every single way, and it's love, it's love, it's love, it's la 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 la, it's love, it's love, it's love, it's la 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 la, it's love.
If you're going to eat $5, shouldn't you get more meat? Quiznos large deli favorite sandwiches are just $5. Quiznos.
When this restaurant wanted to add on to their benefits package to help attract new employees, they knew exactly who to have at the table. Find out more at forbusiness.com.
These days, one thing matters when it comes to driving: this number. With an EPA estimated 30 miles per gallon highway, this Pontiac G6 has better fuel efficiency than this Mazda 6. Not to mention it has a range of up to 480 highway miles, which means you won't be stopping here again anytime soon. What's the point? Less pumping, more driving.
Now get 0% APR financing for 60 months on a new 2008 Pontiac G6. See your local Pontiac dealer today.
The Crosstown Classic, Friday and Saturday on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Well, last year, if you had gone into the Tampa Bay bullpen, you'd have been jumping for joy. They had a terrible season. But this is a much improved group. Troy Percival is now their closer, and they have to go into their pen here in the 5th inning. The Cubs made Kazmir throw 110 pitches to get into the 5th, but to not get out of it. So they go with Balfour with the bases loaded. Aramis Ramirez batting and 2 outs and a 1-1 tie. Their bullpen ERA last year was an astronomical 6.16. This year it's 3.45. They're 5th in the American League.
You saw the numbers for Balfour. 11 strikeouts and 7 in the 3rd. That pretty much follows his career numbers or ratio. He's a strikeout pitcher.
98 on that fastball, but it was high. Well, we had 98. The gun here had 93. So somewhere in the 90s.
Yeah. Straight over the top.
Kind of wish their music would at least get up to the 90s. Everything we've heard hasn't been later than 1969 or so.
We're caught in the time warp here musically. Good music, but
I don't know if it's 60s night or what. Oh, it's Throwback Tuesday. That makes sense.
That explains.
We knew there had to be a reason. A block by Navarro. 2-1. All I can tell you, Bob, is sooner or later, love is going to get you.
Sooner or later, love is going to win.
Cubs have tied it here in the 5th. They've also chased Scott Kazmir out of the game. Hit foul, 2-2. Johnson at 3rd, Terrio at 2nd, Derek Lee at 1st. Good speed all over the place. Got him. At the knees, right down the middle. Ramirez strikes out. And Balfour gets out of the inning. The Cubs, however, tie the game. It's 1-1.
Inspiration pulled from your life. That's professional grade. That's the Acadia from GMC. With the simplest form of navigation available and a 5-star crash safety rating, Acadia is helping to redefine the category. Welcome to Acadia, the crossover from GMC.
From the Comcast Sportsnet studios, it's a GMC Sports Update.
Hi, everyone. Pat Boyle back in our downtown Chicago studios. Paul Konerko's on the disabled list for the first time in his career. The White Sox Put him on the 15-day DL today with a sprained left oblique, so he'll be out of the Crosstown Series this weekend. Remember, Dan Plesac joins me after the game for Cubs Postgame Live. Let's send it back to Len and Bob at gorgeous Tropicana Field.
Thank you, Peanut Butter. Got to drop that in a few times. That's his nickname. So the Cubs are now 1-1 here. Thought they might have a chance to get the lead, but Balfour struck out a Ramos.
Yeah, more often than not, you'll take your chances with the Ramos Ramirez late and the bases loaded. Normally, he finds a way to get those guys on the dish, but as you said, this Rays pitching staff is much improved.
So Ryan Dempster has outlasted Scott Kazmir tonight, facing Bartlett, Iwamura, and Ibar. 3 balls, no strikes. That one in there, 3-1. Our friend Chris Overholt, we played golf with him as part of the Comcast Sportsnet golf outing last year, along with a group including his fiancee Kelly. We're getting married in August as Johnson makes a catch. Good job by Dempster. He went 3-0 on Bartlett and got him on a fly out.
I'd like to say hello to Keith and Terry Schramm. They're here from Chicago celebrating Keith's 60th birthday. Happy birthday, Keith.
Well, I better get this note in tonight because Iwamura won't play the rest of the series. He'll start his suspension. Played third base last year. According to the Elias Sports Bureau, over the past 75 years, only one player has played at least 100 games at third base as a rookie, which Iwamura did, and more games at second base the following year, which he's on pace to do. Ryne Sandberg was the other, 1982 at third and 1983 at second. That's a good note.
It's not unusual to see a second baseman who also plays shortstop, but it is a little unusual to see a second baseman who also plays third base, or vice versa.
That one missed badly, 3-1.
Got some road warriors here tonight too, Len. Bethany and Michael Funk are here. She's a senior at Loyola University. They're having a little vacation here in the Tampa-St. Pete area, taking in some ball games. They'd like to say hello to Joe. I think it's Stan, Teresa, and all the other Cub fans at the Carmelite Carefree Village in Damon. Senior residential community there. Big Cub fans. They watch every ball game, and we do appreciate it.
That's ball 4 on Iwamura, who was a 5-time All-Star with the Yakult Swallows of the Japanese Central League. I'm sure he and Kosuke Fukudome know each other well.
Well, they got together behind the batting cage right as the Rays were ending their BP and the Cubs were starting. And I will give you a word of advice. Don't be in the vicinity when 2 Japanese players start talking behind the batting cage. I about got trampled by the Japanese media, the print media, the cameramen. I didn't realize I was in the way of their shot, and they made me aware of it rather quickly.
Yeah, many members of the Japanese media who cover the Cubs did make the trek to Cooperstown, only to witness a game that never was played. One ball, one strike on the first baseman Ibar. We also met Doug Holtzman tonight, the nephew of former Cub Ken Holtzman. Doug is the director of corporate partnerships with the Rays. He told us he grew up a Cubs fan. Really?
We won't blow your cover, Doug. Don't worry. We won't let anybody know.
Right. I wasn't surprised to hear that he grew up a Cubs fan. Dempster fires to first, and Iwamura back in plenty of time.
Lamar 4 out of 6 on the season in stolen base attempts.
The pitch, a little bit low, 2-1. Well, we heard Pat Boyle. Paul Konerko will not participate in the Crosstown Series either weekend. He's on the DL. Although I guess if they backdate it, he might be eligible for the back end of that series on the south side. He has a left rib cage muscle, or at least a muscle near that area, as a strain.
Well, depending on the severity, those can be very tough to come back from. They usually take a little longer than you anticipate, but maybe it's not too bad, and Konerko will be able to play in that second series.
That's a foul ball past Lee. Big news the last couple of days. A couple of firings around baseball. The Mets have fired Willie Randolph as their manager. Bench coach Jerry Manuel, former White Sox skipper, has replaced him on an interim basis. They also fired a couple of coaches, including their pitching coach Rick Peterson. They had gotten off to a mediocre start, game under 500, and the Mariners fired their general manager Bill Bavasi. Lee Pelikutis, who had been in the Mariners organization for a long time, I think since 1979, he has taken over as the GM. Mariners off to a terrible start, worst record in the major leagues. Hit hard right at Terrio. He will not make a throw to first. That's the second out. Ibar hit it very hard, but right at Ryan. 2 gone in the inning.
Was hit right on the button, but as you mentioned, right at Terrio. Nice piece of base running over there at first base. The runner froze on the line drive, which is what you're supposed to do until you see the ball through to the outfield.
B.J. Upton, ball 1. Well, we are told Michael Brenly is not in the starting lineup. Did you say it's a doubleheader?
Well, I said
doubleheader because this is game 1.
Yeah.
I got you. Not in the lineup tonight for the Boise Hawks, but he might get in there late. Josh Vitters is Cubs' first-round pick from last year. He's coming back from a hand injury.
Just have to be the secret weapon tonight.
So they take on the Eugene Emeralds tonight, the Northwest League 2008 opener.
Eugene, an affiliate of the San Diego Padres. And that's how some of the I don't want to call it animosity, but the joy in defeating somebody when you get to the big leagues, a lot of times it starts way back in the minor leagues. And when I was with the San Francisco Giants, the Dodgers had a team in every league we played in. So by the time you got to the major leagues with the San Francisco Giants, there was a deep-seated hatred of the Los Angeles Dodgers firmly in place.
Looks like he's starring in a reality show.
He's in his own little reality down there right now. Taking the gloves off.
Yeah. Gloves are coming off now. Need to check and see who called me.
It's a costume rental shop. It's due back at 8 o'clock. Oh, you're late.
Tough to deal with that BlackBerry with boxing gloves on. Two and two on Upton. Runner at first. We're in a 1-1 tie in the 5th. Cubs playing here at Tampa Bay for the first time ever. They went 2-1 over the weekend against the Blue Jays up in Canada. Well, Felix P.A. starting to put things together at Iowa. Had a sac fly in game 1 of a doubleheader yesterday and fell a triple short of the cycle in game 2. Hit a home run, a double, scored twice. Double-A Tennessee will start the second half tonight against Mobile. So hopefully Michael will get in there here in the next day or two. Do you have a Boise Hawks hat?
Not yet.
A squatchy-less Boise Hawks hat. 3-2. Well, Dempster getting up there. We saw Kazmir's meter run out in the top of the inning. He hit 110 pitches. Runner goes on the 3-2. Terrio can't get it. Iwamura keeps on moving to third.
I'll tell you, Len, that was it didn't hurt anything, but a rare fundamental mistake by Reed Johnson out there in center field. Iwamura on the move, and as you said, he was easily going to advance to third base. The Cubs middle infielders had set up the relay throw to go back to second base to keep Upton at first. Reed Johnson inexplicably came up firing to third base after Iwamura was already there. Fortunately, Upton did not advance to second base. As I said, it didn't hurt anything, but it's just odd to see Reed throw the wrong base.
Hinske for the third time. He's 0 for 2. Left-hander Neil Kotz is up. Hinske was the 2002 American League Rookie of the Year with the Blue Jays. Went from the Cubs to the A's and then the A's to the Blue Jays. And Larry Rothschild comes out. So 2-0 on Hinske. First and third, 2 outs and a 1-1 tie. Cardinals with a run in the bottom of the third, leading Kansas City 1-0 as they play the fourth. Milwaukee leading the Blue Jays 2-0. Couple of solo home runs tonight for the Brewers. Fielder with his 12th, Counsell with his first. There in the fourth. Boston leads at Philadelphia 3-0 in the bottom of the sixth. Coco Crisp has hit his fifth. Can't say that name too loudly here in Tampa Bay after that nasty fight. Based on Jonathan Papelbon's comments, that situation may not be over yet. That's where the unbalanced schedule actually makes this rivalry with the Rays and the Red Sox more interesting. Called strike, 2-1. As a veteran of the unwritten rules, how many brawls does it take before you're done?
As a veteran of many brawls, once they start, it's pretty tough to stop them. Because it seems like every time you do have another dust up, somebody feels like they were cheap shotted or something happened in the bottom of the pile that shouldn't have happened, so there's more retaliation to be sought.
Well, the Red Sox will come here on June 30th. Well, that's less than 2 weeks away. Dempster needs to make a pitch. He does. 3-2.
Tailing fastball on the inside part of the plate. Actually, a pretty good pitch for Hinske to hit. Just swung right over the top of it.
3-2 with the runner from first going. Called strike 3. Hinske just threw his bat and he will get fined for that. saw the umpire, Paul Schreiber, point at that bat, so he'll lose a little dough for that maneuver. 1-1 after 5.
Airlines. We have 2 emergency exits on this plane, one in the front of the plane and one in the rear. Sit back, relax, enjoy your 4-hour, 50-minute flight.
On Southwest Airlines, you'll never fly in a small plane. We guarantee every seat on every flight is on a big, comfortable Boeing 737.
You're now free to be more productive.
You know, I'm not trying to micromanage your finances, but I will tell you that my E-Trade savings account earns 6 times the national average. So, you know, it's funny. You know, I mean, the boys are talking about what to do with all this extra coin. I was like, I'm renting a clown. And I did. A Bobo here. And I really underestimated the creepiness.
Earn 6 times the national average with max rate savings. There are 1,000 new accounts a day at E-Trade.
This is the story of a single piece of wood, separated and taken to different places, where each piece is shaped, honed, and polished, only to be sent back to end the way they began, as one perfectly matched piece. Visit your Lexus dealer today for an exclusive look at how nothing else is built like a Lexus ES. Lease the 2008 ES for $389 a month for 36 months with $34.89 due at signing.
After the game, stay tuned for Lowe's Cubs Post-Game Live. Analysis with Dan Plesac. Highlights, press conferences, and interviews from the stadium. Lowe's Cubs Post-Game Live. After the game on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Get Chicago sports news nightly on Land Rover Sports Night. Coming up tonight after Cubs Post-Game Live. We'll hear from Michael Beasley, potential first pick of the Bulls, plus a full recap of the Cubs and Sox. Join Chris and Mark for Land Rover Sports Night tonight after Cubs Post-Game Live, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Big strikeout for Ryan Dempster of Eric Hinsky to end the 5th. There were runners at first and third at the time. Now it's Soto, who is 0 for 2. He's DHing for the first time in the major leagues, facing Grant Balfour. All the hits for the Cubs came against Kazmir in the 5th. All singles. Now Lou talking with his starter, Ryan Dempster. I saw Neil Kotz up there earlier. I don't know. I think Ryan might be done after his complete game the last time around. 107 pitches. Might get one more inning out of him. Broken bat ground ball right at Bartlett, who throws on to first, and Soto's retired.
Take a look at that strikeout to Eric Hinsky to end that last half inning. A high splitter. He gets a call from Paul Schreiber. The bat goes flying back toward the dugout. That'll cost him. It used to be $100. I don't know what the standard fine is for throwing equipment. And then Lou came out to have words with the third base umpire, Wally Bell. I do believe, just judging from the body language and the way Lou was motioning, they want to get Tom Foley, the third base coach, in that coach's box or somewhere close to it. I think there were a couple of pitches that Foley got up very close to the third baseline in a position where he could possibly see Henry Blanco's signs behind home plate. You don't necessarily mind if a coach gets where Mike Quade is now, way behind the third base coach's box or closer to the dugout, but you don't want him closer to home plate or closer to that foul line.
But a slow start to the trip for DeRosa, who was in a hot stretch previously, went 1 for 13 in Toronto, and he did walk his first time tonight, but then popped a second in the 4th.
This is kind of an odd sight here. The Rays have a left-handed pitcher warming up in the bullpen, and as you mentioned earlier, the Cubs have an all right-handed hitting lineup tonight. This, I would have to believe, is just in the event Lou goes to one of his left-handed pinch hitters at some point in this inning. Although J.P. Howell, the left-hander warming up, as well, right-handers do a 200 batting average this year.
Three and two.
You know, getting back to Dempster just for a moment, with Longoria leading off the bottom half of the sixth, we might see Ryan go out to face one hitter only. And then Cliff Floyd and a switch hitter, Deoner Navarro, after that.
Right at Hinsky for the out. Well, even though Matt Merton was facing a lefty in his first two at-bats, I think he's probably happy to face a right-hander after striking out twice against Scott Kazmir. Came in hitting .317 in his career against lefties. .283 versus right-handers. It's 2-0. Would you like to pet a Ray? You can here.
I'll pass. What kind of bait do you use on those things?
That's Hinsky out in left center. And the Cubs go down 1-2-3. Balfour has sent down all four he has faced. Still 1-1. Been a tough night to hit for both offenses.
Imagine yourself in the best-selling car in America. Lease the 31-mile-per-gallon rated Toyota Camry for just $209 a month, or get 2.9% APR financing. Toyota, a great way to keep moving forward.
Friday and Saturday, the Crosstown Classic lives on Comcast Sportsnet. Extensive one-hour pregame shows, the highest quality broadcast, and all the postgame reaction from the ballpark. The Crosstown Classic, Friday and Saturday on Comcast Sportsnet.
So, you're a green person, but which shade? Confusing, isn't it? Well, True Value's Color Made Simple can help. With exclusive tools, trained professionals, and expert advice, finding your color will always be simple. Now let's talk purple. True Value's Color Made Simple.
Meeting the challenge since 1940.
Hey, Mark. It's the perfect combination of taste and refreshment. We've been expecting.
Where am I?
Beer heaven.
Only one beer is good enough for beer heaven. Miller Lite, the ultimate light beer.
Playing for Peanuts, Sunday night at 7, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Are you ready for an outrageous, zany, and unpredictable night at Wrigley Field? Well, then come join Harry Canary, Clammy Sosa, and the Superstars, along with Birdzek on July 29th, as the Peoria Chiefs host the Kane County Cougars in the Road to Wrigley, presented by National City. Don't miss out on the chance to see these zany characters in action. To order tickets, visit Cubs.com today.
Neil Kotz facing Evan Longoria. That's deep right center, and Reed Johnson will watch it. It almost got into that tag. It's a home run. The 11th of the year for Longoria, so he's now tied for the rookie lead in the majors. He just missed putting one into that Ray tank. And it's 2-1.
Wow, Belvedere home run replay. That's some easy power to the opposite field by Evan Longoria. He hit that ball a long way with a very easy controlled swing.
Now they have a deal here. If a Rays player hits a home run into that tank, $5,000 will be donated to charity. They have a partnership with the Florida Aquarium. So Longoria just missed.
So it's not like the pool in Arizona where people jump in and do cannonballs during the game.
I don't think he'd want to do it here. Both their runs have come on solo home runs. So Dempster gets taken out. And on the first pitch of the 6th, Neil Kotz gives up a home run. But back to Dempster for 1 second, and he still is winless on the road. He'll get a no decision tonight. He's now made 15 starts. He has allowed 3 or fewer earned runs. In 13 of the 15 starts, he has not allowed more than 4 earned runs in any of his starts. Just a remarkable first half for Ryan Dempster. Floyd walks. Not a good start for Kotz. Bob, neither of us had an issue with Lou allowing Ryan to complete his last game. But because of that, they were maybe a little bit more cautious tonight, even though he had an extra day of rest. He had to labor to get through his 5 innings. He threw 107 pitches.
Just didn't seem to have the same command that he had in his last time out. Still battled tough and really limited the damage that the Rays were able to do against him, but forced him to throw a lot of pitches. We talk about it all the time, Len. It's easy to go out there and pitch when you've got A stuff. When your sinker's dive bombing and your slider's working and your splitter's bouncing in the dirt when you want it to, and you can throw every pitch wherever you want it on command. Those are the easy nights to pitch. Nights like tonight where Ryan didn't have his best command and he didn't have his best stuff. I think this is a more true indicator of how far he's come as a starting pitcher.
Broken bat floater. Terrio with a catch. Way to go get it, Ryan Terrio.
Normally you talk about a shortstop's range, you're talking right to left. This time we're talking going back. Nice running, jumping catch in shallow left field by Ryan Terrio. I think he got fooled a little bit. The bat broke. You could clearly hear the sound of the bat breaking. He started to go laterally to his right and then had to retreat into shallow left field to make a nice catch.
Now lefty against lefty. Gross was late on that heater at 96. So this game in the hands of each bullpen the rest of the way. Dempster went 5. Kazmir went only 4 2/3. He had only 3 runs combined. Welcome to American League Baseball. We talked about it over the weekend. A low scoring affair, but a lot of long half innings. I would say Cliff Floyd is not a threat to steal, particularly against a left-handed pitcher. However, he did steal a base on Friday, which was his first steal in a couple of years. So everybody's running with this Rays club. Fly to left, sending Merton back to the track. And Floyd back to first, 2 outs. Number 9 hitter Bartlett coming up. Ramirez plays even with a base at third. Everybody else back except for Lee, who's holding on Floyd. And the pitch, he is low. Happy 5-0. Lester Strode, the Cubs bullpen coach. Happy belated birthday to Kerry Wood. He turned 31 yesterday. And I told Kerry about Lester's birthday today, and he liked having that information. I kind of feel bad that I told him.
I'm sure Lester really appreciates it.
I'm probably going to wear him out in that bullpen. Next pitch, ground ball at Cedeno. He'll take the short toss. That's to Terrio at second. And the inning is over, but the Rays grab the lead once again. Leadoff home run by the rookie Longoria. And it's Tampa Bay 2, the Cubs.
Every car maker's focusing on fuel efficiency, but they've forgotten about the power. At Nissan, we do more with a drop of fuel than any other manufacturer. The dependable Altima, versatile Sentra, and reliable Versa. 3 performance sedans with 31 miles per gallon or higher. Lease the Nissan Altima for $199 a month, or get $1,500 Nissan cash back on Sentra. Nissan sedans. Lean, mean, driving machines.
How do you want to see the game? You want to be closer? Well, this is no ordinary ticket. This is your ticket to baseball heaven in high definition. Sharp Aqua's the official HD TV of Major League Baseball. And with a blazing 4-millisecond response time and a super fast refresh rate, there isn't a shot in the hole or a streamer down the line that will singe the hair in your nostrils. It will change your baseball-loving life.
Aqua's LCD TV. Change your TV, change your life. Sharp.
Oh my gosh. That's incredible.
Looks like they're thinking Arby's new toasted subs. They're big, fresh, and available at the drive-thru. Made with savory meats, smothered with melted cheese, and piled high on toasted ciabatta bread. One bite will have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's. Get your toasted subs at the drive-thru.
After the game, stay tuned for Lowe's Cubs Postgame Live. Analysis with Dan Plesac. Highlights, press conferences, and interviews from the stadium. Lowe's Cubs Postgame Live. After the game on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Thursday, Derek Lee and the Cubs are back in the Bay, ready to rack up a win against B.J. Upton and the Rays in HD, followed by Lowe's Cubs Postgame Live. Cubs Rays in HD, Thursday at 6 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Thursday, Derek Lee and the Cubs continue interleague play as they battle Carl Crawford and the Tampa Bay Rays in Florida. Don't miss the Cubs and Rays Thursday night at 6 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Good to see John Cella here in the beard. He lives down here, and the dad of one of our great cameramen, Dave Cella. J.P. Howell is southpaw, working to Henry Blanco. Ball 1. Blanco, Cedeno, and the leadoff hitter Johnson, with the Cubs trailing by a run. Look at his record, 5-0 in relief.
Equally effective against righties and lefties. I mentioned right-handers hitting only 200 against Howell. Lefties hitting 204.
moved his hands, but he caught the inside sliver of the plate.
Solid numbers for the youngster, the youngest pitcher in the Rays bullpen, and the only one under the age of 30. He's only 25 years old.
Here he comes on a 2-2. He just struck him out. So the Cubs haven't done anything against the two relievers. Balfour went 4 up, 4 down.
A wicked breaking ball there to Henry Blanco. Big break. And you can see why this guy's been effective against both righties and lefties. If you have a pitch that moves down like that, you can throw it to anybody.
Cedeno did not put a ball in play against Kazmir, and he's down 0-1 on Howell. This is a challenge now for Ronnie. He hasn't gotten a lot of playing time lately. Lou kind of got him in, got him out, as he had good success early on in the season. But as you found out at times during your career, it's tough to sustain it when you're not getting consistent starts. Just kind of the way it is.
Just the speed of the game. You know, and all you see is batting practice pitchers every day, and then suddenly you step into that batter's box during the game, and the guy's throwing in the mid-90s with a wicked slider. Well, you haven't seen anything like that for weeks.
He is making his 23rd start. This is the Cubs' 71st game. He's getting about a start every 3 days or so.
Once again on that nasty breaking ball from Howell. Watch the movement on this pitch. Starts over near the left-handed batter's box, ends up down and in out of the strike zone with vicious downward movement.
We haven't even seen 7 complete innings so far of the Tampa Bay Rays in person this year, but I think what we're learning is that this is a team that in general, and I think you could say this about the Cubs, they're going to make you beat them. The Rays have a very solid pitching staff, as do the Cubs. The Cubs are leading the National League in earned run average. Both teams with very solid bullpens. The Rays with excellent defense. You're going to have to play good baseball if you beat this club. They're not going to just hand it to you.
And I keep coming back to the return of Carlos Pena when they get that legitimate power threat back in the middle of their lineup. They may really surprise a lot of people in the second half of the season.
Well, the Cubs have been the cream of the crop in the majors here for a while. They find themselves down, but the tying run's going to be on base. We'll see if Johnson will get to second base. He's hustling. Here's a throw by Upton. And he's in. Ball got out of the glove of Iwamura. Head first dive. Tying run now at second base. That was an 0-2 pitch that Johnson put into the alley.
It looked like Howell slipped out on the mound a little bit on his delivery. Not sure if it affected the pitch or not. Really fell off the mound to that third base side, and Johnson tomahawks that ball into the gap in left center. And this is a good time to take a chance to get yourself into scoring position. As always, Reed Johnson hustling out of the batter's box, made the decision to test the arm of B.J. Upton, and fortunately the ball was dropped at second base. That was a pretty strong throw.
So Terrio has the lone Cubs RBI, and that came with 2 outs in the 5th. Now trying to find a hole here in the 7th. Johnson trying to get as big a lead as he can. Bottom of your screen. Boy,
Upton uncorked a rocket back into the infield on a short hop. Iwamura just couldn't hang on to that ball. I don't believe they would have gotten Reed Johnson to second base anyway, but something to file away for future reference. B.J. Upton can throw.
Their setup man Dan Wheeler is up. Two and 0.
When you talk about Reed Johnson working for a maximum lead out there at second base so he could potentially score on a base hit, and right now the Rays have the second baseman Iwamura jockeying him back to second base, which, as Cub fans know, that works in Ryan Terrio's favor. Any sliver of a hole you give him on that right side, he'll try to take advantage of.
Swing and a miss. Pulled the string, 2-1.
Well, this guy's got good stuff. We've seen that big breaking ball to record a couple of quick strikeouts. Straight changeup that time got Terrio way out in front. Good take right there. That's the same pitch that Henry Blanco and Ronnie Cedeno struck out on, that big slider that started away and ended up down and in off the plate.
Three-one pitch. Johnson going toward third. Called strike. And he is out. That hurts. Taking the final out at third base. Already in scoring position. So it's still 2-1.
Something in the way you move, little darling. Yes, there's something in the way you talk that make me realize. There's something in the way you move that make me.
The 2008 Volvo S80 luxury sedan. Get together with yours at the Volvo Model Year-End event. Now's the best time to get an 08 Volvo. Event ends June 30th.
Get any project done in less time with lightweight pass-load cordless nail guns from Menards. No need for an air hose. This heavy-duty framing nailer is just $329. An angled trim nailer is only $319. All Performax power tools are on sale. They're tough and durable. Choose from table saws, belt sanders, scroll saws, and much more. This 10-inch compound miter saw, only $99.88. Now in the Menards Summer Sale Flyer.
Save big money at Menards.
Show me what you tell me, now we sipping cold belly and we up inside the telly. Roll you jellies on your belly and that's right up on your pillow. Bobby all inside your middle. This got me flipping like hotcakes on the griddle.
Experience a Cubs game at historic Wrigley Field. Individual tickets are available for upcoming games. Get your tickets now by calling 1-800-THE-CUBS, visiting the Wrigley Field box office, or by logging on to Cubs.com. See you at beautiful Wrigley Field.
Well, Reed Johnson took off for third base on a 3-1 pitch. Ryan Terrio took it for a called strike, and Navarro threw a strike to third. Longoria made the tag, and he was clearly out.
Well, you understand Reed Johnson's intention, but that's not the right time to be overly aggressive on the bases. He didn't really have much of a walking lead at second base, and that's the key to stealing third. Getting some momentum going, having your momentum going toward third base, and breaking immediately as that pitcher makes his move to home plate. That time Reed caught a little bit flat-footed and got gunned out easily at third base. I mean, Howell is extremely slow to the plate, but you have to be 100% sure you can make it with 2 outs and your 2-3-4 hitter coming to the plate.
Meantime, Kotz has gone 3-0 on Iwamura. Evan Longoria with a tie-breaking home run leading off the bottom of the 6th against Kotz. And that's the difference at the moment. We got an email from Brian Sanders from Chicago. Good question. With Soto DHing, who would be the Cubs' emergency catcher? Like that was off the foot of Kotz. He'll throw late, and it gets by Lee. Iwamura's going to end up at third base. Well, the Cubs with a couple of bad plays here in the past inning that we rarely have seen this year. A base running gap by Reed Johnson, and now a two-base error as Neil Kotz really did not have a play on Iwamura at first base.
No play at all. This is where that internal stopwatch has to be working. Ball hits Neil Kotz. Nice job of knocking it down, but as he's waiting for that ball, you have to realize where that runner is. Iwamura was already past first base. Boy, and it's odd not to see the right fielder come in and back up that play. Now, Mark DeRosa has played enough right field that he knows that's his job on that play, is to get in there and back up an errant throw. Kosuke Fukudome, we know, backs up plays like that all the time in foul territory in case there is an overthrow, but that time DeRosa caught spectating.
Now, Neil Kotz is throwing for head athletic trainer Mark O'Neill, but it's not going to matter, as Lou is going to call for right-hander Michael Wirtz anyway, with his switch hitter Ibar due up. So Iwamura with an infield hit and then the two-base throwing error, moving him all the way to third. Heineken called to the pen. Runner at third, no outs, 2-1 Tampa Bay.
There are more than 3,100 points to scrutinize. 3,100 digitally calibrated, laser inspected welds, fittings, connections, and finishes on the RX to make sure it's absolutely flawless. Visit your Lexus dealer today for an exclusive look at how nothing else is built like a Lexus RX. Lease the 2009 RX all-wheel drive for $459 a month for 36 months for $35.59 due at signing.
I need you. I need you every single day, and I want you. I want you every single way, and I need you. I need you every single day, and I want you. I want you every single way, and it's love, it's love, it's love, it's la 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 la, it's love, it's love, it's love, it's la 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 la, it's love.
Hey, yeah, there's this ATM surcharge rebate thingy on my statement.
Oh, that's a rebate for ATM fees charged to you by other banks.
What?
Well, we just don't think you should have to pay to get your own money.
You don't?
Nope. That's why we rebate ATM fees on your elite checking account, no matter whose ATM you use.
I'm gonna need a second, Gene. So I don't have to pay to get my own money. It's amazing.
Well, the Rays had a very contentious 3-6 road trip they recently completed. The bench clearing brawl at Boston we mentioned. Shields and Crisp got into it and all heck broke loose. Then in a game in Texas, Matt Garza and Deanna Navarro, the battery, got into it with each other on the mound, and then later in the dugout. And Joe Madden got tossed in Anaheim after arguing with Darryl Cousins on a strike zone. So it looked like they may have been coming apart, but actually, as Michael Wirtz deals ball one on Ibar, Joe Madden said he felt like his team bonded on that road trip, and that wasn't even to mention Eric Hinsky, who got ejected in Texas for arguing a called third. Pulled way foul. The infield is in. It's 2-1 Rays.
I was watching that ball game when Joe Madden got ejected. He was out to argue the strike zone for his pitcher Scott Kazmir, who struck out 10 in that ball game in 6 2/3 innings, but had a couple of tough borderline calls that did not go his way and had to come out of the ball game. And when Madden came out to get him, that's when Darryl Cousins ejected him.
Terrio made the catch, shoestring catch. So Ibar's out. That's a big first out. Second straight at bat in which Ibar has lined hard to Ryan Terrio.
Boy, so little range when that infield is drawn in even with the baseline. You have about one step in a dive to get a hard hit ball, and that's all Terrio had right there.
I think the point of their last road trip was this is a team that feels it's not going to be messed with anymore.
It all gets back to expectations too. You know, in the past I think nobody expected the Devil Rays to be in contention or to be a competitive ball club, and I think occasionally the Devil Rays themselves didn't think they were going to be competitive, but that's not the case with this year's team. They feel like they've got some talented players. They have a very deep pitching staff. We talked about their great defense, and so far they've been scoring just enough runs to maintain that second place position behind Boston.
There's their veteran closer Troy Percival, who very recently came off the DL. We may see him tonight. Golfed foul, 1-2. The Royals have tied the Cardinals 1-1 in the 6th. The Yankees are blowing out the Padres 8-0 in the bottom of the actually not really in New York.
When you get summoned to the Steinbrenner's office, it's usually down here in Tampa.
I wonder if we'll get summoned after those comments that I just made as Upton takes the walk. Scott Air may be summoned at some point this inning.
It's like the wheels are spinning a little bit. Who's trying to make up his mind over there and what matchup he wants to go with.
Bounced foul by Hinsky. Michael Wirtz is from Minnesota. Hinsky's from Wisconsin. I'm sure both took a lot of ground balls in the gymnasium in April.
You know they did.
Back in high school.
Hinsky leads this Rays offense grounding into double plays this year 9 times. He's grounded into a twin killing.
The Rays have Iwamura at third and Upton at first. Here's the pitch. Up and in on a fastball, 1-1. Speaking of Minnesota, Justin Morneau with a home run tonight, and the Twins lead the Nationals at the Metrodome 2-1. Bottom 7. Texas 6, Atlanta 2, top of the 6th in Arlington. Josh Hamilton has hit his 19th. Omar Infante for the Braves with his first. Pirates and White Sox are 5-5 in the 5th. Mets tonight, their first game under their new manager Jerry Manuel will be in Anaheim taking on the Angels. Good matchup there. Johan Santana and John Lackey. Florida is in Seattle. John McLaren has made a switch defensively. He has moved Ichiro from center back to right. Another good pitching matchup tonight up in the Northwest. Scott Olson and Felix Hernandez. Also Detroit's in San Francisco. Giants with their first win last night against the American League this year after losing their first 6. Full count on Hinske. No question Upton will be running with his good speed and the eye of Hinske at the plate. And now the Cubs infielders are all going to come in because they're not going to be able to turn a double play.
This is one time that fake to third throw to first pickoff move might get the runner at first. He doesn't use it.
And into right, a base hit. Morris scores. Upton will take over for him at third. And it's now 3-1.
He likes it. He was right on everything that Michael Wirtz threw close to the strike zone in that at bat, and finally found that field turf out in right to drive home the run.
Called strike on Longoria. Oakland with a couple in the first inning against Brandon Webb in Arizona. Diamondbacks have not batted against Justin Duxer. Slider low and away. The Rockies 2, the Indians nothing out in Denver in the bottom of the third. Also Houston leading at Baltimore 5-4 as they play the 8th. Two former managers of the Rays in the Cubs dugout trying to find a way to get out of this 7th. And also trying to find a way to get to the Rays bullpen. Cubs were able to knock Scott Kazmir out in the 5th inning. They have not yet scored on a couple of relievers, Balfour and Howell. Chopper to Ramirez. The throw's going to go to the plate. And Upton is tagged out by Blanco. So Upton's the second Ray thrown out at the plate. Gross was forced with the bases loaded back in the 3rd.
Ramos takes his time, steadies himself, makes a good throw on to Henry Blanco for the easy out at home plate. Once again, the determining factor is, are you going to be able to turn 2 on that play? Or Ramos immediately made up his mind, no, let's get the out at home plate.
And with Cliff Floyd due up, Lou will go with the other left-hander in the pen, Scott Air. Time once again for the Heineken call to the pen. It's 3-1 Tampa Bay in the 7th.
Arby's $5 Roundup. Choose from your Arby's favorites like 2 popcorn chicken shakers or 3 beef and cheddars or 4 regular roast beefs for only $5. It's a great deal that'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's.
How would you like to win a dream seat recliner with your favorite Chicago team's logo? Now it's your chance. Log on to ComcastSportsNet.com and click on the Great Escape giveaway icon to register. The Great Escape, the place for all your home recreation needs. Friday and Saturday, the Crosstown Classic lives on Comcast Sportsnet. Extensive 1-hour pregame shows, the highest quality broadcast, and all the postgame reaction from the ballpark. The Crosstown Classic Friday and Saturday on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Hey, yeah, there's this ATM surcharge rebate thingy on my statement.
Oh, that's a rebate for ATM fees charged to you by other banks.
What?
Well, we just don't think you should have to pay to get your own money.
You don't?
Nope. That's why we rebate ATM fees on your Elite checking account, no matter whose ATM you use.
I'm gonna need a second, Gene. So I don't have to pay to get my own money. It's amazing.
Chicago Tribune Live, presented by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers. Weeknights at 5:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Arby's $5 Roundup. Choose from your Arby's favorites like 2 popcorn chicken shakers or 3 beef and cheddars or 4 regular roast beefs for only $5. It's a great deal that'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's.
Wednesday, June 25th is Baby Ruth Day at Wrigley Field. The first 10,000 fans will get a Cubs lunch bag, compliments of Baby Ruth. Don't miss the action as the Cubs battle the Baltimore Orioles at 7:05 on Baby Ruth Day. Here's left-hander Scott Air. Just saw his franchise record scoreless appearance streak snapped on Sunday in Toronto, 33 in a row before giving up a run in 2/3 of an inning. Johnny Gomes will hit for Cliff Floyd in the DH spot. First and second, 2 outs, and Gomes just got hit to load him up.
Jersey right there, but no question he was plunked with that one. The 6th time Gomes has been hit this year. Well, this is the side of the plate you would prefer to have Navarro hitting from. 278 as a right-handed hitter coming into play tonight, even though it's only 36 at bats. 341 as a left-handed hitter.
So the base is loaded. Ball 1 on Navarro. Has a grand slam this year. Hit it on May 8th. Broke the tie with a home run in the 6th by Longoria. They've gotten another run here in the 7th on an RBI hit by Eric Hinsky. Swing and a miss. They're ready. 1-2 off the end of the bat. He popped it up and out of play. Just wanted to answer that question emailed to us by Brian Sanders about the emergency catcher tonight. We're talking during the break. You made a good point. At this point in the ball game, if something were to happen to Henry Blanco, and we hope not, you probably would take Soto out of the DH spot and then pinch hit for a pitcher, as opposed to use somebody back there who's not familiar with catching.
Now that spot is likely only to come up one more time in this game unless we look at extra innings, and you know, at that point the pitcher spot comes up, you drop in a pinch hitter and move forward.
Now that's the only thing about having a catcher DH. You have to think about those contingency plans.
But to answer your question, if it happened earlier in the ball game and you wanted to leave Soto in as the DH, I would guess that either Reed Johnson or Mark DeRosa would be the 2 most likely candidates to go behind the plate. Now I know Carlos Marmol was a catcher early in his minor league career, but I think that is the last place in the world you'll see Carlos Marmol.
Yeah, Merton could possibly do it. Matt's going to go back on this ball, and he has just enough room to make the catch on the track. That ends the inning. They do get 1. The lead for the Rays now 2. It's 3-1 after 7.
On June 18th, 19th, and 20th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., get a free sample-sized iced coffee at McDonald's.
I see skies of blue.
Some find it by mixing exercise with play. Some gain it by showing others the way, while others discover it in the beauty of nature. It's wellness. And at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, yours means the world to us. Because when it all comes together, we want to give you the inspiration to experience wellness everywhere.
What a wonderful world.
Where we come from, high gas prices are nothing new. Perhaps that's why BMW offers more vehicles that average at least 28 miles per gallon than any other luxury automaker. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Lease a BMW 328i for $399 a month, or take advantage of 3.9% finance.
Feel the joy with McDonald's and Coca-Cola. And right now, grab a large sweet tea, Coke, or other soft drink for just $1. Cool.
Time now for the Sharp Aquist game-changing play. The Cubs trailing by a run, 2 outs in the 7th, and Reed Johnson was nailed trying to steal third base. Close play, but he was out. Justin Ruggiano now playing left, so Hinsky's done. And right-hander Dan Wheeler, who filled in as their closer with Troy Percival on the DL. Percival's now back on the active roster, so Wheeler back in the 8th inning, and he's done a really nice job this year. Interesting connection. Dan Wheeler is the son-in-law of Dwayne Statz, a TV play-by-play voice. And many of these fans are rooting for the Cubs. They'd like to see that big comeback here late. And so would we. Cubs only have 4 hits.
Bloop and a blast to tie it up.
One, two. No problem for Upton.
Well, then I'm just guessing here, but I would assume that the score remains the way it is, and the Cubs drop the first game of this 3-game set here in Tampa. A lot of people are going to point to that long day of travel yesterday with nothing to show for it but wet shoes. But I tend to give the credit to the Tampa Bay pitching staff. These guys come as advertised. Very effective, well-balanced bullpen. Kashmir was not at his best tonight, but much like Ryan Dempster, he kept his team in the ball game. Of course, we're hoping for some kind of a rally here.
Kashmir had a no-hitter into the 5th. Cubs have only had 2 chances with a runner in scoring position all night, and one was taken away when Johnson was caught stealing to end the last inning. Big rip by Aramis, 1 and 2.
And that's been the case most of the evening. Aramis had a real good pitch to hit right there. A laser beam straight fastball, inner third of the plate, down a little bit, right where he likes it, and just fouled it straight back. When the Rays pitchers have made mistakes, Cubs hitters have fouled him back to the backstop more often than not.
No boxing gloves, but he has the cowbell. The 1-2 hit foul. Looks a lot like David Weathers, doesn't he? Pretty effective, too. It's 3-1 Tampa Bay.
The David Bruce Auto Center sells more new and used cars than anyone in the area. Hello, I'm Bruce Dickstein, and here are some reasons why.
A new 08 Pontiac G6 20th anniversary priced for only $14,988, and a new 08 Pontiac Grand Prix for only $18,775.
Remember, no one in the area sells more or gives you more for your trade.
And if credit has been a problem, see David Bruce for a second chance.
CMT is a company of growth and opportunity. We're expecting to grow by $100 million by the year 2011. And we recently purchased new machinery that utilizes the most up-to-date electronics. CMT is an authorized supplier of mag particle inspection and soon dye-penetrant and ultrasonic testing.
Creative Machining Technologies is currently looking for more skilled machinists located in the East Moline Industrial Park. CMT, manufacturing in the United States for the world.
Keep your yard pest-free with Ortho at Menards. Kill bugs inside and out all season long with Home Defense Max. It features a pull and spray handle for easy application and is non-staining and odor-free, only $11.88. Triple Strike Grass and Weed Killer is the strongest formula ever with guaranteed results. Use around fences, driveways, flower beds, and more. It's only $2.99. Find these and other great deals in the Menards Summer Sale Flyer. Menards, dedicated to service and quality.
Save big money at Menards.
You're watching the home of the Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, and White Sox, Comcast Sportsnet. From the Comcast Sportsnet studios, it's a Cadillac Sports Update.
Hi everyone, Pat Boyle back in Chicago. Michael Beasley worked out for the Bulls today at the Burndown Center. Either Beasley or Simeon High alum Derrick Rose are projected to be the first pick in next Thursday's NBA draft. You'll hear from Beasley on Sportsline after Cubs postgame live. Now let's send it back to Len and Bob in St. Petersburg.
All right, Pat, thanks. As Scott Air tries to keep the Rays right where they are. Cubs are looking at Troy Percival in the ninth. Scott hit Johnny Gomes as he came in the seventh. Then he got Navarro on a deep fly out with the bases loaded. He's now 2-0 on Gross. There's Percival. He was done. He was retired.
Yep.
And he came back last year with the Cardinals. Popped him up. Ramirez catches.
And the Rays are glad Percival did come back from retirement. Opponents are batting only .123, lowest among all major league relief pitchers.
Came off the DL on Friday, had a hamstring injury. So Scott Air will take the last train to Clarksville. And Bob Howery will come in. Heineken called to the pen. 3-1 in the eighth.
Well, good morning.
Good night. Now at McDonald's, I can get any two McGriddles for just $3.
There's the Feldco Cubs upcoming schedule. Will be here Thursday night on Comcast Sportsnet for the finale of this series, and then the big Crosstown series starts. We'll have all the pregame coverage beginning at noon on Friday as Jason Bartlett swings and misses at a Bob Howery fastball. One out, nobody on. We're in the eighth. Well, Bob has struggled a little bit lately after he seemed to be getting things together.
Yeah, he gave up 4 hits and 2 earned runs in 2/3 of an inning against Atlanta, but recorded a hold in that ball game. That was a Ted Lilly start. The Cubs eventually won 10-5, had the big lead when Bob Howery gave up the 2 runs.
The pitch bounced fair. Long run for Matt Merton. And it's a double. Boy, as a left fielder here, Bob, and really as a right fielder, especially on that left field line, you have to go get the ball. It's not going to just carry them right to you.
No, it came off that wall very softly. Fortunately, Bartlett was only going to get a double on that play, and Merton did the right thing to make sure he didn't overrun it and let the ball get past him for a possible triple or inside the Parker. And you would like to think that the Cubs outfielders came out here during batting practice and saw how the ball reacted off of those side walls. As you said, some of the ballparks it'll hit that side wall and shoot out into left field. That time it just kind of hit and died.
Iwamura showed bunt, took ball 1. We hope Neil Kotz is okay. It looked like he was fine after he took that ball that Iwamura hit off his foot. Through a couple of warm-up tosses. Lou was probably going to make a change either way. He in fact came out before he even got to the mound. He had called for words. Runner goes. Henry lost the handle. Bartlett with his 15th stolen base.
One out.
The infield in.
Yeah, 1 out is the time to take a chance, and you could see Bartlett had a running start out there at second base. I'm not so sure Henry would have been able to throw him out anyway. Just lost the grip right there as he tried to rush his throw down there to third base.
One and 2 on Iwamura. We're in the 8th, 1 out. The Rays about hit the Cubs tonight 10-4. The pitch. Awkward swing by Iwamura. So 2 outs in the inning, and it'll be Willie Ibar who will bat from the left side.
It really looked like Iwamura was just trying to slap that ball past to Ramos Ramirez down there at third base. Almost a pepper-like swing. Just tried to make contact and slap it through that left side, but came up empty. Ibar struck out his first at bat in the game, singled in the third, and the last 2 at bats he's hit line drives right to Ryan Theriot at shortstop. Once playing in, once playing back.
Looking ahead to the 9th. Soto, DeRosa, and Merton against Troy Percival, most likely. After Wheeler worked a perfect 8th. And a 2-0 pop foul. And that went right into our booth. And you know, the funny thing about it is, I was wondering if it could possibly get in here, and it did. And our stage manager, Erica Thornsberry, was the most surprised person in the building. Are you okay, Erica? She's fine.
Okay.
I wanted to reach out, but I thought, you know what? I don't want to break a finger or something.
I lost sight of it. Once it got above my line of vision, I figured it was into the upper deck.
All right. She got the. No, you're going to keep the ball. You can show it. You're on camera. There you go. Thanks, Jeff. Up here in audio. That ended up in the garbage.
I think it did ricochet around and ended up in the trash can.
I don't know how that thing got in here.
We haven't had an attempt yet this year.
I know. Just wipe the mustard and ketchup off it before you put it in your purse, Erica. Three and 2 on Ibar. The pitch. This one's going to be out of play. Thought it might hit one of those catwalks. That would have been catwalk B. A, B, C, and D.
I would assume those catwalks are necessary to suspend the roof here at Tropicana Field, but you've got the technology to eliminate those.
I wonder if Dwayne and Joe will do a telecast from one of the catwalks.
Ooh.
That would be an interesting view. Another 3-2 and another foul.
That'd be a good view for pitches in and out off the plate, but it'd be a little tough on up and down when you're looking straight down at it. Probably about the same view we have in Pittsburgh, though, I would imagine.
Or Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Bartlett is at third, 2 outs. The next 3-2 pitch just missed outside, ball 4.
That was quite a battle right there for a guy that was only batting 150 from the left side of the plate coming into play tonight. 440 as a right-hander. He looked very comfortable that at bat against Bob Howard.
Now Upton, who was his second overall pick back in the 2002 draft out of Chesapeake, Virginia. Big swing. That was power against power, 1 strike. In 2003, he committed 56 errors in his first pro season at the age of 19. He was a shortstop at the time. It was the same number of errors Derek Jeter committed in the same league when he was the same age. 2 years later, he made 53 errors at AAA. But he's now a center fielder. So he took his lumps as a shortstop.
I think he's found his niche, though. It's not uncommon. I had a former teammate, Jack Clark, that started his minor league career as a third baseman, and they moved him to the outfield just because he was injuring so many season ticket holders in the bleachers on the first base side.
Henry held it there a little longer just to give Paul Schreiber an extra look. 2-1.
I will say it again. He's been consistent all night. He refuses to give anything off of that outside corner.
Drilled to deep left. Merton reaches up, makes a nice catch. And the inning is over. That was hit very hard by B.J. Upton. So Howard gets out of the jam to the 9th. Rays 3, Cubs 1.
Tired of being nickeled and dimed by other airlines?
Is this your first flight?
On Southwest Airlines, we don't charge fees for stuff that should be free. Southwest, fees don't fly with us.
You are now free to move about the country.
What your engine feels, you feel. And when it's running clean, you feel it. That's why Pennzoil Motor Oil is specially formulated to clean out up to 15% of sludge in the first oil change. And a cleaner engine just feels better. So change with Pennzoil and feel the clean. Not just oil, Pennzoil. And now a 5-quart jug is only $10 for a limited time at Walmart.
When a major hospital wanted to add on to their benefits package at no direct cost to the company, their very first word was... Find out more at forbusiness.com.
Show me what you tell me, now we sipping cold belly and we up inside the telly. Roll you jellies on your belly and that spread up on your pillow. Bobby all inside your middle. This got me flipping like hotcakes on the griddle.
Cubs fans, put on your rally caps for an exciting finish. Brought to you by New Finish Car Polish and the #1 rated scratch remover, Scratch Doctor.
Time now for the Nissan drive of the game. This was the go-ahead home run, the second go-ahead home run for the Rays tonight. Evan Longoria leading off the bottom of the 6th against Neil Cox. It was on the first pitch of the inning. And now Troy Percival will try to pick up his 16th save of the year. The opponent's batting average, as Bob mentioned, minuscule 123.
That's been the history of his career. Opponents have batted only 184 against him in his career. That's the lowest mark by any pitcher in Major League history with 400 or more appearances.
So the designated hitter, Giovanni Soto, tries to keep his 5-game hitting streak alive and, more importantly, just find a way to get on. We'll start it. We're in the 9th, 3-1 Tampa Bay. Here we go. Strike one. Percival did come back from the DL Friday and pitched a perfect 9th against Florida. There are 2 strikeouts. Notched his 15th save of the year. 0-2. He kind of has a Trevor Hoffman-like look with his big leg kick, but instead of flipping in that 78-mile-an-hour changeup, he's throwing gas.
Yeah, he consistently hits the low 90s. On a good day will get up into the mid 90s. Not a lot of movement on his fastball, but very firm.
To left, and it's deep for Soto, and it's caught. Ruggiano banged up against the padding on a terrific catch. Remember, he came in for Hinsky in the 8th inning. He was running full speed into that padded wall. He would not have been walking away if that had been at Wrigley.
Well, we've talked about it on this road trip, these new turf fields. That warning track is absolutely the same surface as the outfield. It's just a different color. No way for that outfielder to tell when he's approaching the wall, and that time Ruggiano had no clue how close he was to the wall before he crashed into it face first.
And DeRosa with a base hit. So the tying run will come up. And it will not be Matt Merton. Instead, it'll be Kosuke Fukudome.
Now we're going to see all those lefties that Lou has available on the bench now. Joe Madden is not going to take out his right-handed throwing closer just because Lou sends up left-handed hitters, but this is the way to go here. A string of lefties coming up.
So you have Kosuke getting a nice hand from the Cubs fans in attendance. Hoffpower on deck in Henry Blanco's spot. So Lou's not worried about extras, and now he's going to figure out who catches that whole deal. He's trying to find a way to stay in this ball game. That's the way to do it. Swing and a miss by Kosuke. 1 strike, then spun him around. First time he has faced Percival.
And not a lot of history for any of the Cubs as you get a look at strike one to Fukudome. Straight fastball right down the heart of the plate. Derek Lee has 4 at bats. Aramis Ramirez 4 at bats.
The 0-1 outside on a fastball, 1-1. Good to have our producer of Cubs baseball here on Comcast Sportsnet back, Bob Albrecht, after spending the weekend with his family. His daughter Lily graduating from DePaul. Our director is Dave Turner, our associate producer Tamara Anderson. 1-1 the count on Kosuke. 2-1. We've already met our stage manager, Erica Thornsberry. Ended up with a souvenir baseball. Cat Orr, our technical director. The executive producer of Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is Jim Corno Jr. Thanks as well to our entire crew here in St. Pete.
Len, you brought it up in Toronto, the number of domed artificial turf stadiums that Kosuke played in when he was in Japan, so he should feel right at home here at Tropicana Field.
Gabe Gross is almost standing on a warning track. That's how deep he is in right. Anything that gets over him is going to be a home run. That gives Kosuke a lot of room in front of him. And that'll be a fair ball down the left field line. Into the corner, sending DeRosa to third. Quaddy will hold him there, and now a single should tie it up. 2 runners in scoring position for Michael Hoffpower. Big pinch hit double for Kosuke.
After taking a hack to try to pull the ball to right field, Kosuke does what he does best. Stay on the ball, drive it to the opposite field, rattles around, watch this ball hit the wall and stop. Actually kind of checked up a little bit for Ruggiano. That's where you need one to rattle around down there a little bit, get away from that left fielder.
Kosuke really getting stretched out now, as he's going to have to hustle to try to get in on a base hit. Jim Hickey chatting things over with the battery and most of their infield. Off-power bats for Blanco. And the parade of left-handers continuing. Jim Edmonds on deck. He would hit for Cedeno.
Well, this worked out perfectly for Lou Piniella. We hope it pays off in the long run, but you save those lefties knowing full well that the Devil Rays have a right-handed closer. The Rays, excuse me. And you just hope it rolls around to the bottom of the order where you have hitters that you will pinch hit for. If the Cubs had the top of the order coming up here in the 9th inning, we probably wouldn't have seen any of these left-handers.
No question. He might have hit for Johnson. Probably not after that. The 1-0 pitch, 1-1.
We'd love to see Micah follow Kosuke's lead. Doesn't take a home run right now, just a base hit. Stay on the ball and drive it wherever it's pitched. Nice short compact swing.
A 1-1. Well, he's missed a couple of heaters. Now with the tying runs in scoring position, Gabe Gross against a guy with theoretically more power from the left side. He's playing a lot more shallow out in right.
I'm not sure about Ruggiano in left field. I assume he has an average arm. Same for Gabe Gross in right. We've seen Upton in center, an outstanding arm.
Off power in a protect mode. Still 1-2.
And this may be his best chance to get a knock against Troy Percival in that protect mode. A little more defensive, shorten up your swing, just try to make contact.
Another 1-2 pitch. Gets by. And DeRosa will score. Fukudome, the tying run now at third. Got out of the glove of Navarro. It's now 3-2, and it's 2-2 on Hoffpower. That's huge.
Well, just a zoom ball from Percival. Got by everybody. Not sure if that's been ruled a wild pitch or a pass ball. It'd be the second pass ball for Navarro, the first wild pitch of the season for Percival, depending on how it's ruled.
The infield is in. Fukudome at third. 2-2 on Hoffpower. Here's the pitch. And he struck him out. Troy Percival with a huge punch out of Hoffpower. And now he'll face a former Cardinal teammate, Jim Edmonds, with the game on the line.
Too big of a swing. I think Micah Hoffpower is going to be a good big league hitter. He can handle anybody's fastball, but just trying to do too much right there in a situation that you didn't need an extra base hit.
They have charged Navarro with a pass ball. That's his second of the year. That allowed DeRosa to score and Fukudome to get the third. Edmonds has been hot. See if he can get it done here in a huge spot. Ball one. These two guys were teammates last year with St. Louis. Edmonds against Percival. Percival has his sign and he is ready for a 1-0 pitch. That one gets past. Kosuke made the right decision. That ball got right back to Navarro, and Bob, I think he would have been out.
And Navarro's toss back to Percival was low. He had to field it on a short hop. You never know exactly what was going to happen, but he read the play properly. That ball hit the backstop and shot right back to Navarro. These two are having trouble getting on the same page out there. It's like playing keep away. That ball near the feet of Jim Edmonds gets underneath the glove of Navarro. He got to it quickly. There was the little shovel toss in the dirt, but by then Kosuke had slammed on the brakes and retreated to third.
Kerry Wood is up in case the Cubs do at least tie it. A nail biter here at Tropicana Field. 3-2. A 2-0 count on Edmonds. The pitch. 2-1. Percival might be more interested in going after Johnson at this point than Jim Edmonds.
Well, he threw him a changeup right there in a 2-1 count. That's where you can think yourself into circles as a hitter. If he threw you a changeup 2-1, he'll probably throw another one 3-1.
Here it is. He did it again. 3-2. Third, representing the tying run. 3-2 on Edmonds. The pitch. Ball 4 was low.
Boy, a real good contrast there between Micah Hoffpower's at bat and Jim Edmonds at bat. Not picking on Micah. He's a young player. He will learn as he gets more experience, but he was trying to be the hero. He was trying to hit a ball out there in the Devil Ray tank out in right center field when Jim Edmonds just worked and waited for a good pitch to hit. He never got it, so he took his base on balls.
Pucadome at third, Edmonds now at first. 3-2 Tampa Bay. And the first pitch to Reed Johnson. He lays down a bunt. Can he beat it out? Barehanded play. They got it. Wow. He bounced the throw. Ibar was able to handle it cleanly. And the Rays hang on. That was a great play on both ends. Longoria had one play, a bare hand. The throw was low. Ibar got it. I think that was a nice maneuver there by Reed Johnson.
I agree with you, Len. I looked up right before that pitch was thrown. Longoria was playing back, but he comes in and makes a spectacular barehanded play. Great pick on the other end by Ibar. A good idea by Reed Johnson. Just a great defensive play by a young third baseman and a nice pick by a backup first baseman.
Boy, any sort of bobble there by Ibar, and Reed Johnson ties the game. Banged into him. Ibar held the ball. And the Cubs got oh so close in the ninth inning. And the Chevy players of the game tonight, we're going to give it to the Tampa Bay bullpen after Scott Kazmir went just 4 2/3. Balfour came in an inning and a third. He got the win. Howell with a scoreless inning. Dan Wheeler went 1, 2, 3 in the 8th inning. It wasn't easy for Troy Percival in the 9th. He gave up 1 run on a passed ball, but the Rays were able to hang on 3-2 the final. So the Cubs will turn to their ace tomorrow night. Carlos Zambrano. He'll face a right-hander, Andy Sonnenstein, for Tampa Bay. And we'll get a quick check here before we say goodbye on the Cardinals. They're down 2-1 as they bat in the bottom of the 9th. Kansas City with the lead. So if that score holds up, the Cubs' 3.5 game lead will also hold up. Well, that'll do it for our game coverage. Stay tuned for post-game live. Once again, the final score tonight in a thriller. The Rays 3, the Cubs 2. Our next Cubs telecast here on Comcast Sportsnet. We'll be right back here from Tropicana Field Thursday night, 6 o'clock Central Time, as Sean Gallagher faces James Shields in a battle of righties. In-game scoring provided by ScorePad. And now for Bob Brenly and our entire crew, this is Len Casper saying good night from St. Petersburg, Florida. Again, post-game live is coming up. You've been watching Chicago Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet.
Certainly an exciting 9th inning. Too bad they waited almost 3.5 hours to get the offense rolling. Mark Shanowski, Chris Bowden back in our Comcast Sportsnet studio. Pat Boyle and the quirky lefty Dan Plesac standing by. They're going to break down all the key plays next on Cubs Postgame Live.
And stick around after that show for Land Rover Sports Night. We'll hear from Michael Beasley on why he feels the Bulls will give some serious thought to making him the top pick.
And Alfonso Soriano will have his broken hand re-examined later this week. Could he be playing again before the All-Star break?
Plus, we'll have post-game reaction from the Cubs clubhouse in Tampa.
Those stories and much more after Cubs Post-Game Live. That's coming your way after this short timeout.
So far ahead, its dual-panel moonroof brings light to everyone. It sees traffic in real time and controls your music seamlessly with your iPod. So far ahead, the rest of the world will have to catch up. Introducing the future of the crossover, here, now. The all-new 2009 Nissan Murano. With an IIHS top safety pick and a government 5-star rating for side impact crash safety.
The Chicago Cubs strongly encourage the use of public transportation. The CTA offers a variety of options, including the Red Line, which stops right at Wrigley Field at the Edison station. If you must drive, try the remote parking operation at DeVry University, located near the Edison and Rockwell intersection. The remote lot offers parking and an express bus for just $6. For more details, call the CTA hotline at 773-836-7000 or visit Cubs.com.
I need you. I need you every single day and I want you. I want you every single day. single way, and I need you. I need you every single day, and I want you. I want you every single way, and it's love, it's love, it's love, it's la 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 la, it's love, it's love, it's love, it's la 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 la, it's love.
The summer road trip is officially on.
Tell me something good.
Chevy announces 0% financing for 60 months on any 08 HHR and Equinox. Both offer OnStar. And HHR is one of 8 models that offer an EPA estimated 30 miles per gallon highway or better. More than Toyota, more than Honda. So get 0% for 60 months on any 08 HHR and Equinox. Then pack your bags. See your local Chevy dealer or visit ChevyDealer.com.
Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. With Southwest Airlines, you're now free to be more productive. Visit Southwest.com today. The first ever Pontiac G8. Build your own at Pontiac.com/G8. Menards. At Menards, you'll find big lumber yards, big selection, and big savings. And by GMC. Engineered to the highest standard. Professional grade.
Tampa Bay. And the first pitch to Reed Johnson. He lays down a bunt. Can he beat it out? Barehanded play. They got it. Wow. He bounced the throw. Ibar was able to handle it cleanly. And the Rays hang on.
Reed Johnson tries to surprise the Rays and bunt in the game-tying run of the 9th inning. But Longoria and Ibar make a great play. Cubs fall by a run. The first game ever at Tropicana Field won't be sent to Cooperstown for public consumption. Some missed opportunities at the dish. Bad base running decision by Johnson. A throwing error by Neil Kotz. Lou Piniella doesn't get a win in his return to St. Pete as the Rays take game 1 of this series. 3-2 is your final. Hello and welcome to Lowe's Cubs postgame live. Alongside the quirky left-hander Dan Plesac, I am Pat Boyle. Did you agree with Reed Johnson's decision to try to bunt in that game-tying run there?
In that situation, yes, because Longoria was playing back. He did a terrific job. The only other guy I've seen make a play like that was a young Pat Boyle. Right. Those snow-covered fields up in Michigan in April. You could tell by the throw, it's a do-or-die play. He had to come in, field the ball. He didn't make a particularly good throw. It one-hopped Ibar at first. In a situation like that as a third baseman, it's really do-or-die. And you could tell by the grip that he had. He pretty much threw a hand grenade over there to first base. A tremendous play on both ends. One to get to the bunt, and Ibar a tremendous job on a short hop ball in the dirt. It was a great play all the way around, and it really was a great surprise move. I'm not sure if we have a cut of it, but at the beginning of the play, you could see the pitch that Longoria was playing well behind the third base bag. It was a good bunt. It was bunted well, even though it was on AstroTurf. It took a great play on both sides. One, to get to the bunt, and two, Ibar making a great play catching it.
We'll show it to you as we show you the sequence in the 9th inning. Down 3-1, the Cubs rally against Troy Percival. First off, it's Mark DeRosa at the plate, dealing with the heckler all game. He singles to right center, and that got things going.
Well, you know, he's had a rough road trip up to this point, but he's a good player, and he will hit. And when he gets hot, he gets swinging the bat really well. And this was really a big part of the inning. Fukudomi, a tremendous at-bat off of Percival, taking a 2-2 pitch, just go ahead and feathering this ball down the left field line. And this is really this at-bat by Michael Hauptauer. The Cubs were very fortunate here, a pass ball to get it within 3-2, but Bob touched on it during the game. It just seemed like at this at-bat, Hauptauer was up there really trying to hit a 2-run home run, right, as opposed to you have a man on third. You have the infield at medium depth, get the ball in the air, put the ball in play. That's an awful big swing with 2 strikes.
And then we saw up next with Jim Edmonds, a much better at-bat here. Good decision by Fukudomi, though, to stay at third base because that ball carried him right back to the dish.
Well, these are the things at the table that a veteran guy like a Jim Edmonds bring. A good quality at-bat. And here, really a good bunt by Reed Johnson. A great pickup by Longoria and Ibar. That was a tremendous play. That's a very difficult play to make, and partly because he's a part-time first baseman, so it's not like you're talking an experienced person over there at first base who's used to getting bad hops or bad throws. A great play on both ends to get to the ball by Longoria, and Ibar, a terrific job. He basically had to cradle that in his chest. A great play all the way around.
Here's my question. Did Lou call for that bunt, or was that Reed Johnson doing it?
There's no question that that was on his own. And one of the things you do as a hitter is you look around at the surroundings. You come up to the batter's box, and I'm sure that he saw Longoria playing back. And Troy Percival is having a tremendous year, and he's a tough pitcher to put the ball in play off of. And it was a good move. It was the right play. It took a great play to come get that bunt and an even better play to catch that errant throw. So that was a great play.
Did you agree with taking Ryan Dempster out after 5 innings? He was over 107 pitches, and considering he had that complete game in his last outing against the Braves, where he went, what, 120-ish, somewhere in that range, I guess you can see why they went to Neil Kotz.
No, it's a good move because, listen, this Cub bullpen has been really very dependable. It's been the strength of this team. Unfortunately, Neil Kotz, first pitch, or the first batter he faced, gave up a go-ahead home run. I mean, the bullpen has been very solid. There's a couple of things tonight. You break down the game, and really the Cubs, as far as helping the Rays out, Reed Johnson, a bad base running play with 2 outs on second base, and this play right here by Neil Kotz. This is the ball that you have no play. You just
Iwamura is basically on first base when he threw it.
The thing to do there is you have to understand when this ball comes down, you get it, you take a quick look right here. There is no way that he has a play at first base. This is a ball that you eat. You have a man on first. You minimize the damage. Instead, now you make an errant throw down the right field line. And on this play also, Mark DeRosa didn't do a very good job of backing up, and he was able to get all the way to third base. And they almost escaped this. And then Eric Hinsky right here with a 1-out, 3-ball, 2-strike count gets an off-speed pitch that he was able to loop into the right field. So it was a game. There were a couple of plays, a couple of things you go back and you look at. Neil Kotz to throw the first base, and then also you have Reed Johnson trying to steal third with 2 outs. Not a very smart play.
Certainly when you see it come down to 1 run. Time now for our Felco star of the game, and that's the Tampa bullpen. Belfour, Howell, Wheeler, and I guess you could say Percival persevered there in the 9th inning, but they got it done, after Scott Kazmir didn't have his best stuff, but certainly was effective enough.
Well, he was effectively wild, Pat, and when you have the type of stuff that Kazmir has, he has an overpowering fastball and a real good sharp breaking slider. His command wasn't as good as we've seen it in the past, but he has really good stuff, and he has the kind of stuff that when he's throwing strikes, he's difficult to hit. But you could see one of the reasons why this is a much improved Tampa Ray team from the teams of the past. They have good pitching, and really a test, you look at where their bullpen ERA, their starting rotation ERA, in the American League East, they're playing a lot against the Boston Red Sox, the Blue Jays, and the New York Yankees. So it's not like they're doing against second-tier kind of ball clubs. They're a good team. They have a lot of team speed. They're fundamentally very sound. They have speed. They pitch very well. And one thing they do extremely well is catch the ball.
Yeah, they're kind of a National League team, right?
You know what? They're really a prototypically built like a National League team. It's tough to win in the American League consistently the way they're doing it because you do need some guys to bop the ball at the ballpark to hit the 3-run home run. You do need the power element in their lineup. Right now, they're pitching very well. They're a good, fundamentally sound team, and they're a fun team to watch play.
As we head to break, let's check out our Pontiac opinion poll on this night as Lou returns to his old stomping grounds in the Tampa Bay area. We want to know, how much of the Cubs' success this season do you attribute to Sweet Lou? Here are your choices. A, all of it. B, some of it. C, not much. It's mostly going towards the players. Log on to ComcastSports.com. Click the link to Chicago. Then go to the Cubs page and cast your vote. We'll have the results coming up later in Lowe's Cubs Postgame Live.
Coming up on Sports Night, with the draft around the corner, Michael Beasley visits the Bulls and makes his case for number 1. Plus, if the Sox hope to get back in the win column, they'll have to do so without Paul Konerko. And we sit down with John McDonough and look at the bright future of the Blackhawks. That's all ahead on Sports Night after Cubs Postgame Live.
Technology powered by Microsoft and an extra-large Vista roof. Now get the Lincoln MKX with 0% financing plus $500 bonus cash at your local Lincoln dealer.
Hello, welcome to Lowe's. Grills? Sure. I think you're a big eater, am I wrong? We have got a great selection of outdoor furniture. Go ahead, sniff it. Oh, I see you're looking at the Trex. You got everything you need? I'll take that as a yes.
Time to come out of hibernation and head over to Lowe's for all your outdoor living needs.
Oh, hey, Steve. Yeah, got it all at Lowe's. How do you like your steak?
Lowe's, let's build something together.
Rare.
I first saw this one when I was traveling through Prague. Geico probably thinks this is easy too. Dancing is good exercise. It works my glutes. Okay, America, I'll show you easy.
Presenting the Lincoln MKX with exclusive sync technology powered by Microsoft and an extra-large Vista roof. Now get the Lincoln MKX with 0% financing plus $500 bonus cash at your local
TPC Deer Run, home to the John Deere Classic, is also your home for food, entertainment, shopping, and championship golf at affordable prices. TPC Deer Run is open to the public and is available for corporate and charitable outings from 12 to 144 players. The TPC Golf Shop is the top 100 golf shop in the country and has a huge selection of brand name merchandise at competitive prices. Host your wedding or special event at TPC's Clubhouse. Have lunch every day in the grill room or try the Sunday breakfast buffet. It's all at TPC Deer Run in Silvis.
Hi, we're Team Teskies.
This is the time for planting beautiful gardens, and Team Teskies has the healthy plants you want. Every time you plant, use Furlone Root Stimulator. Keep those plants healthy and producing all summer long with Furlone blooming and rooting. Need help with your plants?
We're Team Teskies.
Choose from our large selection of plants and let
Team Teskies
keep your summer beautiful. Teskies, Bettendorf and Moline. Teskies, where homes come to life.
Brought to you by Hawkeye Motor Works in Davenport, the region's exclusive Honda powerhouse dealer offering the full line of power sport products.
2.3 ERA and 15 Ks. Who's not? Dan Ugla, 3 for his last 23. Mark Teixeira, 5 for 29. Tom Gordon, in 2 appearances out of the pen. Both have ended up in losses. Time now for our sweet play of the game, and it belongs to Ryan Terrio. Bottom 6. Gianna Navarro lines one to short, but the Riot makes a nice play there. Keep the runner at first base and keep the Cubs in the game with the sweet play of the game. Let's get now to the pitching matchup. As far as Ryan Dempster's concerned, still looking for his first road win on the year. You touched on it before the break. Splitter not exactly working the way it has, at least in his last start and most of this season, and they made him pay with the home run early on.
Well, you know, when you look at this, you break down to 5 innings, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, 107 pitches. His pitch count was up. You know, the first couple innings, he had a difficult time controlling, commanding his split finger pitch, which is a big pitch, particularly with lefties. The home run that Cliff Floyd hit was on a hanging split finger, but he's been throwing the ball very well. And you go 5 innings and give up 1 run, you certainly don't take your team out of the game. This was really the only bad pitch, and he really pitched out of a tough jam in the 3rd inning. The Rays had the bases loaded. He made some great pitches on Upton to get a little dribbler back to the mound and then struck out Eric Ginsky. So he made some really good pitches in some tough spots. And you look at it this way, he gave you 5 really good innings, giving up 1 run. He wasn't as sharp. His pitch count was a little bit higher. But this Cub bullpen has been so good that you had to feel pretty good about it, because they have everybody in that bullpen over the last 3 to 4 weeks has pitched in and thrown really well. Tonight was a case of the bullpen wasn't quite as sharp. The Cubs had some chances late in the game, weren't able to take advantage of it.
Reed Johnson trying to steal 3rd base with 2 outs in the 7th inning. He's going to hear about that, right?
Well, I'm sure he heard about it as soon as he came into that. It's one of the things sometimes when you're trying to make things happen as a player, you're on second base, you're thinking, if I can get to 3rd, maybe a pass ball or wild pitch. It's not a real smart play at that point.
All right, time now for one more break here. We'll have our poll results on the other side. Look ahead to tomorrow's start from Big Carlos Zambrano. That's next on Lowe's Cubs Postgame Live.
And now it's time for the Stay in the Game Hold Statistics of the Day, brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color.
J.P. Howe picked up his 4th home of the campaign tonight. 1 inning of relief helped keep the Cubs at bay.
Just as these middle relievers keep their team in the game, you too can stay in the game with Just for Men hair color.
Hello, may I help you?
Yes, Clyde and Keith to see Emmett Smith. Emmett, your great facial hair has put you in a rocking chair. Your beard